story of the home that caught fire near Lawrence on Saturday.
Okay.
Everybody out of the house, guys? They said everybody's out of the house.
Okay, I just want to make sure. We've already got the fire department on the way.
911 audio as firefighters responded. One firefighter was hurt trying to put the fire out. It's not clear how it started yet. Insensitive comments in front of students. Sasha Nixon reports that's why a teacher in Indy has been fired.
Staff and students say they heard the comments as they opened a math lesson online. In the recording, the teacher can be heard calling one of her students a foul name multiple times. At one point, she does not refer to a student by their preferred name and expresses her frustrations with modern pronouns. The school district later released a statement in which they said the staff member responsible is no longer employed. Sasha Nixon, 93. WIBC Mobile News.
Anti-Semitism should be decried on college campuses, says Congresswoman Erin Houchin, who helped question Ivy League presidents in a hearing last week.
It was horrifying to me that they could not condemn it.
Houchin on Newsmax. Harvard President Claudine Gay said the school's rules for speaking on campus are guided by the Constitution when asked why anti-Semitic protests were not dealt with under the school's hate speech policy. She has since apologized for that statement, but Houchin says that apology is not enough. The Cincinnati Bengals blew out the Colts on Sunday, 34-14. Head coach Shane Steichen on what happened.
I wish I had a great answer for you. I really do. It was just one of those days. It was not our day.
They host the Pittsburgh Steelers on Saturday. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Bear.
Yeah, Kurt stopped on the north side, westbound at 465 at Michigan Road. This is because of a crash blocking the left lane. A car got into the interior barrier wall, and we are stopped back to Meridian for a 34-minute delay for a stretch of road in those westbound lanes. That's just a couple of miles. Traffic sponsored by Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. Whether you choose a mined or lab-grown diamond, let a Pierce Jewelers diamond engagement ring be that simple that says, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers in Carmel. I'm Matt Bear on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first. And then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Pierce Jewelers has the perfect sparkle to put under the tree this Christmas. So don't be a Grinch. Spoil your loved one with a little blue box from Pierce Jewelers in Carmel.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Good morning. Gradual clearing throughout the day, so sunshine returns. Chilly, a high of 40. Mostly clear, quiet, and colder overnight, a low down to 30. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
It's 30 degrees and cloudy downtown. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Monday, December 11th. It is 6 minutes after 9 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Before we get in the big program, I'd like to acknowledge whoever decorated the studio. The Christmas lights are up. There's a Christmas tree. It looks very festive.
I'm guaranteeing you that was
Terry
and the First Day people. Absolutely,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Well, it looks really nice, so thank you to them for doing that for us. All right, Rob, let's begin by talking about this new Wall Street Journal poll. In it, it shows that President Biden's political standing is at its weakest point of his entire presidency. Voters giving him his lowest job performance marks and favoring Donald Trump for the first time in a head-to-head competition for the 24 presidential matchup.
Oh, we're going to find out how much society actually hates itself, because what possible reason at this point could there be to vote for Joe Biden? If you are a reasonable person, a human being who can be reasoned with, and I get that there's 35% of the country who no longer fits that billing. But if you are one of the 65%, 70%, whatever it is that's left, what possible reason could you look at the condition of this country and go, give me some more of that?
Give me
Casey.
more of that. Well, I know you said reasonable person, so this won't qualify, but there are the blue no matter who people.
Absolutely. Well, there's the irrational, the woman who was screaming when Trump got sworn in, that's now you see it memes and GIFs and whatever. But I still want to think that the majority of this country wants what's best for the country. I realize that number is shrinking by the day, as there's many, many people out in society who just simply hate our country and would love to see it burn to the ground and started in some new Marxist dream scenario. But I still want to think that while the majority of people may not care for Donald Trump's behavior, they are willing to say we cannot, under any circumstances, continue this way for 4 more years. And so I will deal with not being able to look at his Twitter or his Truth or his press conferences so that my family can afford food. I mean, that's where we're at.
Well, let's get into some of these numbers. Only 23% of voters say that Biden's policies have helped them personally, while 53% say they've been hurt by his agenda. But when we look at the actual numbers, so you've got Trump sitting at 47%, with Biden sitting at 43% in a head-to-head with just the two candidates. And I know that you have said, I'm not looking at any poll, Wall Street Journal or anybody, if it doesn't include the independents.
Yeah, if it does, yes. For now, it would be Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Right.
In this poll, yes or no?
He is in this poll.
Oh, okay, very good.
So when you throw him into the mix, he takes away 17% support, and he sits at 8%, which is also his highest
that
showing.
didn't make any sense. He takes away 17%, and he sits at 8%.
Well, he takes 17% away from either Biden or Trump.
Uh-huh.
And then in total, he gets 8%.
Casey, again, that doesn't make any sense. How could he take 17% away from someone and sit at 8%?
Well, because he's taking, but they're not saying they like him. They're saying third candidate good, 17% taken away, but only 8% say they'll vote for Kennedy. Like they're waiting for this other random third candidate to show up.
Okay, very good. So again, point proven, the point that I have made for months now on this program, that if a viable third party person gets into the race, it does alter the condition of the country, right? Or the electorate, right?
Correct.
Okay, very good. So it's so Trump's lead expands 6 points.
Yep.
37-31. When 5, this again according to MSN, that 5 potential, when you put 5 potential independent or third party candidates into the race.
Yep.
They combine for 17% support.
Yep.
8% of that is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Exactly.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
So who are those other random third
Maybe it's
party?
the Oprah. maybe it's The Rock.
Could be.
Maybe it's the point is, okay, so now we've got 37-31, which seems a bit different than what we had seen before, where the independents appeared to pull more from Trump than they did Biden. But now we're beginning to see, maybe if you take this poll on its face, that they are pulling more from Biden than Trump. Either way, doesn't matter. Trump has the lead no matter who you factor in. So this poll gets a thumbs up in terms of something we can talk about.
Now, here's something else that's interesting. When you take Trump out of the mix and you put Joe Biden against Nikki Haley even beats Joe Biden 51-34.
Well, and I would think that
17-point lead.
Well, she's very liberal / moderate Republican on most things. So I would think there would be a lot of Democrats who would actually like her compared to Trump. Now, you might as well just DeSantis, Nikki Haley, just stop doing the in a hypothetical matchup, Nikki Haley. No, stop. It's Donald Trump against whatever sea creature the Democrats throw out there. And let's just operate from that perspective.
Well, if you do have Ron DeSantis in there, they're dead even. Biden at 45, DeSantis at 45.
Isn't that interesting that DeSantis, according to this poll, now again, it's within the margin of error and et cetera, but isn't it interesting that in this poll, DeSantis does worse than Trump?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Nikki Haley.
That's crazy.
Even though everybody's claiming he's winning all of the debates.
Why would anybody want to be like Florida? Boy, that sounds terrible.
Okay, so J.D. Vance, you know him. He's the guy from Ohio.
Yes.
He was on CNN over the weekend, and he gives his case to vote for Trump.
Do you really have no concerns that Donald Trump might try to abuse his power if reelected?
No, Jake, I don't. Look, the guy was president for 4 years. We had peace, we had prosperity, we had wages rising faster than inflation. Joe Biden has been president for 3 years. Now the average Ohio family pays $10,000 more to afford the same standard of living. The idea that Trump is going to be radically different than what he was 4 years ago is just preposterous. He was an effective, successful president. I think he will be an effective, successful president again. That's why I've endorsed him. And I think this desire to make the election all about the past is indicative of the fact the Democrats don't have much to run on. I think Republicans do.
Wait. So I love how you phrase that question. Do you think Trump might abuse his power? The current president openly went out on national television and said, was this the shot? I think this was where you got to get your company, if you got more than 100 employees, you got to get the shot, or you're out. He openly said, this probably won't hold water against at the Supreme Court, but I'm going to do it anyway. And this guy's concerned about Trump abusing his
power. Yeah. Hey, Pa, this is Kendall. You're black. But isn't it also interesting that shows like CNN and CBS and NBC, all the mainstream media, they're having more and more Republicans on talking about Bidenomics and how awful it is. It's almost like they're turning against old Joe Biden.
Well, your theory, I think, is the most interesting one. You do not believe that in January, Biden's going to come out and say, I'm too old and feeble to run, I'm out. Your theory is they will secure his nomination, and then shortly before the convention, there will be some sort of health issue or something, and he will say, well, I cannot continue, and then thus the party insiders will be able to pick whether it is Michelle Obama or the Oprah or The Rock or Gavin Newsom or whoever.
Or whoever it is that they want.
They're not going to run the risk of Bernie Sanders being the nominee.
And now there's the other new option that's on the table. If it's not a health issue, it's he's got to help his son, Hunter.
Yes.
Who has now recently been indicted on more tax evasion charges.
We couldn't get into that on Friday because we were trying to be happy and positive because it was Radiothon Day. And gosh darn it, maybe we'll get into that a little later today.
We will. But here's also J.D. Vance, same show. He's on CNN, and he's responding to the buzz about him being a potential vice president pick for Donald Trump.
But before you go, Axios is reporting that you're on Donald Trump's short list, possibly for 2024 to be VP. Any interest?
Look, I was elected to be a senator for the people of Ohio. I think that's the way that I'm most effective, but I'm going to help Trump however I can because I think he was a good president. I think the American people will benefit from having him president again.
Look, I lived in a different state and then went to Ohio, and you know what? I always love these. I always love the way they downplay this. Like I'm so taken aback that anybody would even mention me as a vice. Of course,
I'm so surprised.
These people, they live to move up the ladder, and of course he would consider it. The question would be, what does this guy bring to the table?
Ohio.
Though? But he already has Ohio. Yeah. I mean, there was a time where you would say, even not that long ago, I guess 2015, you would say, oh yeah, Ohio's really in play and you're going to need all the help you can get. No way. He's got to pick a woman, doesn't he? He's got to pick a woman.
You think so?
He's got to pick a woman. Oh, doesn't he?
I hope he picks the best person for the job.
Now, Casey.
That's what we always want, right? Surround yourself with good people and let them do their job. That's the secret to success. Hey, I don't know if you heard it. We'll get to it later, hopefully in the show. But Kevin McCarthy was on CBS over the weekend, and he said he wants to get a cabinet position. Of course he does.
Sure.
He said goodbye, but not for long. It is 17 minutes after 9 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
I alphabetized my soundboard. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. F?
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
I have to go to S for Sopranos. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think you got it.
It's so clean now. It's fantastic. Yeah, we have clearly run out of things to talk about. There's nothing else going on in the
It's a
world.
great world, everything's so.
This show is stupid.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
A house isn't a home without a little wear and tear, spilled milk, or muddy paws. But don't just clean it, quick shine it. Hey, Pat Sullivan here for Quick Shine Finishes and Cleaners with some Floor Care 101 tips. First, no matter the surface type, be sure to remove dust and debris. Avoid heavy chemicals or all-purpose liquids as they can damage the sealant layer or leave an oily residue. Now, to best clean and protect your floors at a modest price, don't just clean it, quick shine it. Quick Shine Finishes and Cleaners use non-toxic ingredients, making it better for kids, pets, and the environment. With an EPA Safe Choice certification, and Quick Shine has a full line of products to treat any surface, including their floor cleaner, floor finisher, and hardwood floor luster. I use it on my own floors. Made right here in Central Indiana for over 60 years by Holloway House, a family-owned company. Quick Shine Finishes and Cleaners is available at retailers everywhere.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
There are many ways to eat McDonald's world-famous fries. Some eat both ends of the fry first, others 2 at a time. And some eat them so fast, they forget how they ate them.
Download the app for offers like 20% off any order of $5 or more. Because when you tap into favorites like a Big Mac, McCrispy, or fries, you tap into delicious. Valid through 12/31/23 at participating McDonald's. Valid one time per day. Excludes tax. Must opt into rewards. Visit McD app for details.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. Co-owner Beth Rovazini reminds us why changing your filters regularly saves you money.
Your filter's like the lint trap on your dryer. If that is full because you just did towels, your jeans are never going to get dry. Clean that out. The more airflow that can go through there, the better. When you're restricting that airflow, everything has to work harder.
Just go to B+W.com if you need help with this or have any issues. B&W is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Express the heartwarming message of Christmas this year and give her a diamond engagement ring from Pierce Jewelers that says, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Anymore, you're just another voice on the radio.
Good morning, 21 minutes after 9 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So the 3 pillars of marketing, expectation, realization, memory. This is the memory part. Let's recap Radiothon. You were a crazy person out there this year.
What?
You were absolutely crazy. You and Mel, somebody sent me a message and said that they thought this was the year that you guys were going to really go at it.
Oh,
I thought you mean more than what they are?
You missed some of the old ones, Casey. That was nothing.
Really? This was tame?
Well, Mel gets awfully bossy, and it's like, look, I got to make this radio station run 364 other days out of the year, lady.
Yeah.
So I'm here to help. I'm going to do the best I can. But you're not gonna, boss me around here. And so, no, it's fine. And we did a new record. Mel's great. Mel has totally taken the Radiothon to a new level, and she and Sam do such a great job with that, and deserve all the credit because it's a new track record, Casey.
I know. It was the station's 29th anniversary for the WIBC Radiothon, and they had a big goal. It was 415,000, and I thought, ooh, that's going to be a close one. It always makes me nervous when you tell people what the goal is, because if you don't reach it, it's like, wah, wah.
Right.
But not only did our listeners step up, but they completely exceeded it and passed the $415,000 goal, ultimately getting more than $460,000.
Yeah, it's a new track record, and it is all the credit goes to the audience who donated, to the very fabulous businesses who support. Many of them support this radio station 365 days a year who donated, and then obviously Mel and Sam get everything lined up, and then, well, let's face it, Casey, it's the air talent that really, it's like getting a lead and then taking it into the ninth inning. We are the Mariano Rivera of fundraising operations. We close the door.
It's so inspiring. Major Rachel Stouter, who's the area commander for the Salvation Army of Central Indiana, she said that she spent most of the event saying thank you, not only to callers, but to sponsors and to on-air hosts. And she said, and to God, it truly was an amazing event.
And this is why our show is the most, well, my dad used to tell me there is no standard of unique or versions of unique. You're either unique or you're not. So could it be the most unique? That's not a thing, right?
It's unique.
But our show is, how about this? Most different? Can you be most different? Our show is different from every single other show.
It's bigly
How about
different.
That?
Yeah.
Because we're the only show where there's high drama at the Radiothon. All the other ones, oh, this is so sweet. It's Terry and Denny, and then it's Denny and Mel, and it's Hammer and Nigel, and it's Matt Bear and Ryan Hedrick, and then it's the whole, Saturday morning gang there together, and everybody. Our show is the only show where people are glued to their radio because someone might get injured.
Who do you think
at the Radiothon?
Who do you think brings the drama in this scenario?
We give the people what they want, Casey. We give the people what they want every single year.
Well, thank you to our listeners for stepping up. It was amazing, and all of that money and their donations are going to go to good use. Let's talk about one thing that we also did not get to on Friday because it just didn't seem appropriate, talking about an old man walking around naked in the White House. But that's exactly what Alex Jones has said. He had an interview with Tucker Carlson, and he said his sources say that Joe Biden is completely out of his mind and he wanders around naked in the White House.
You see the system, the media going after Biden, and he deserves it, but they were covering it up until now. Now they're covering the laptop. Now they're covering attack on the dog. Now they're covering, all of his senility, all the corruption, the Chinese spies.
Attacking a dog. What a pig he is. I'm sorry.
Well, I was told that by Secret Service and by people that, let's just say, work with them. And I'm going to leave it at that. But I actually have a contact for you. I'd like to be able to hear it from them. But when this is over, I'll let you actually hear it from yourself. I think they'll tell you off record. I think they're willing to talk to you. But yeah, he is completely out of his mind. He wanders around for the entire 2.5 years. It's getting worse. Naked in the White House. In the middle of the night, doesn't know who he is. They have to give him a bunch of drugs, a bunch of amphetamines in the morning. Then they've got to drug him at night. Sometimes he'll be out for the morning for a while, and then comes back out at night for a ball. That's when there's a real problem.
He is on drugs. I have established that, and I know someone who witnessed it. I'm not guessing at this. I know someone personally who witnessed him taking amphetamines. And this was during the 2020 election.
So how's this going to? That's huge. I know you don't play games. You've been proven.
No, I don't play games.
That's a sight you can't unsee. Joe Biden walking around the White House naked.
All right. We don't have time to get into it right now, but I want to talk about Alex Jones later in the show.
Sure, how he was reinstated on X.
On X, and he's got this platform with Tucker Carlson, and I think that's very interesting, and I want to get into that. But does any of this surprise you? Like, Joe Biden is an older person who clearly has multiple issues with his faculties. You have a person who told you that it's even worse than that, right?
Yeah.
Who is a very
reliable source
person.
Yeah.
This shouldn't surprise. It's like some breaking news that old man with mental faculties wanders around naked. Well, yeah, that's what old people with mental faculties issues do, is they do things like wander around.
One of the many things.
And the fact that he is taking some sort of something to try to help him with that shouldn't surprise anyone. I don't think it's that big of a story. I think it's something we all kind of already suspected. But I do want to later get into, I think it's fascinating that Tucker Carlson is giving Alex Jones this sort of platform and credibility. And Tony got into this morning, and I thought it was very interesting. So I'd like to maybe later, let's deal with the Alex Jones thing. When we come back, though, Casey.
Yeah, we've got Nikki Kelly who's going to join us.
We did not get a chance on Friday to take our victory lap over John Rust defeating Todd Rokita and super lawyer Jim Bopp in court. And, I am loath to point out Todd Rokita's shortcomings as an attorney, but we're going to have to do that when we come back. And it was a win for a huge portion of the populace in the state of Indiana. John Rust winning his case in court about that just totally corrupt, terrible election law that keeps 81% of the state from running.
They're saying you can run.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
We'll talk about that when we come back with Nikki Kelly.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
This is the lunch rush at your local deli. Orders are flying in. Online, on the phone, and in person.
Order for Nick.
So is it possible that fast internet could help your business outrun the rush? It is with Comcast Business. Up-leveling your speed with gig speed Wi-Fi, powering all your devices, and fast downloads and uploads, powered by the next generation 10G network. With Comcast Business, next-level speed isn't just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. Plus, ask how to get a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Call or go online to learn more. Ends 12/20/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New 100 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig internet and compatible router.
You've been hearing me talk about how I go to 459 Barber Lounge. Tony Katz here, and the holidays are here. Now is the time to look your best and give 459 a try. Look your best for family and friends. Look your best for yourself. Go to the best. 459 has the highly skilled barbers and stylists you want with over 100 years of combined experience. They've been serving Indianapolis for 20 years, open 7 days a week, across from the Fashion Mall on 86th Street. 459online.com. 459online.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Is it near the end? It's cloudy and 31 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says it's the beginning of the end for Hamas. In a video message Sunday, Netanyahu said that dozens of militants have surrendered as Israel continues to try and wipe out Hamas in the ongoing war in the Gaza Strip. Tensions are a little high today on Ivy League campuses after last week's anti-Semitism hearing in Congress.
One of Harvard's governing bodies, the Harvard Corporation, is actually expected to meet today to discuss their president's future at the university. The pressure has moved to Dr. Claudine Gay after UPenn's president and their board chair resigned over the weekend. UPenn's Liz McGill will continue to serve as the university's leader until an interim is named, and she's going to remain a tenured faculty member in Penn's law school. Now, on Harvard's campus yesterday, billboard trucks were deployed with messages demanding that President Claudine Gay be fired.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. Elon Musk said that the account of right-wing extremist Alex Jones would be reinstated on X, reversing a 2018 decision by the company's previous management. Now your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. Some slight declines to start the week. The Dow is off 13 points to 36,630. The NASDAQ down 10 to 16,298. And the S&P 500 is down 3 to 4,657. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Inspired by family traditions and peaceful harmony. Inspired by the reason for the season, our Savior's birth and his gift of grace. Inspired by joyfully serving you as we do Christ in our Franciscan tradition. This Christmas season, we invite you to join us in our prayer for peace. Merry Christmas from all of us at Franciscan Health.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
At Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, we understand that your retirement and taxes are inseparable. And if you're over 50, we're offering a special deal to kickstart your financial journey in 2024. You can have your 2023 tax return prepared and filed, including Schedules A, B, and D, for just $79.95. This can be the start of a lifelong profitable partnership with Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. All our retirement planning clients will continue to receive the substantial discount for tax filing and preparation as part of our ongoing retirement marathon that focuses on protecting everything you've worked so hard to build while still providing growth to help elevate your lifestyle in retirement. Take absolute control of your retirement. Call us now at 317-288-0634, 317-288-0634, or visit AbsoluteWealthManagementLLC.com. Investment advisory services offered through Gradient Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Gradient Advisors, LLC, and its advisors do not render tax, legal, or accounting advice.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC, it is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's here. And you know, Casey, we didn't get to take a victory lap on Friday. And, well, you know us. We're never one to miss an opportunity to take a victory lap.
I know it's your least favorite part of the program is when you have to tell everybody how right you were. Correct.
Yeah, and, you know, it was Salvation Army Day and Radiothon Day, and we didn't want to distract from raising money for the Salvation Army. But it is a new day, Casey, and, well, throughout much of the day, we're taking a victory lap today. The big ruling came down on Thursday that the Indiana election law is essentially unconstitutional, that requires you to vote in 2 consecutive primaries in order to run in that party's primary. John Rust, the big winner there. And we'll have John Rust actually later on in the program today.
Yeah, he's going to join us at 11 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, to talk about that big win. But in the meantime, let's try to see what some of the ramifications are, what some of the other politicians across the state are saying. Nikki Kelly from the Indiana Capital Chronicle joins us now. Nikki, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, we're doing just great. So, you know, you have your ear to the pulse of politics, not just here in Indianapolis, but across the state. What's kind of been the reaction, especially from the Republicans, about this big ruling in favor of John Rust, essentially throwing out a big part of Indiana's election law?
Yeah, Republicans are not pleased at all, and they certainly want to see this appealed immediately, as Attorney General Todd Rokita has already done. So they basically feel that it's their primary, and they should be able to control kind of who runs as a Republican. But Judge Dietrich found that, you know, once you get into a state-run system and finances, you know, there's a balancing line, and he thinks that it was over with the 2 primary rules.
You know, what was interesting about the ruling is there were multiple areas where he said this should be thrown out. He went into various parts of the Constitution. I thought it was a very thorough opinion. What say you?
Yeah, I think the strongest part of the ruling was less about John Rust and more about how it impacts both younger voters and new residents of Indiana. He pointed out that there are sections of the Constitution that say you can run when you're 21 for certain, like state rep, things like that, and that you only have to have lived here for 2 years. But depending on, you know, how the elections fall and when you move here, this law basically makes that longer.
Nikki Kelly, our guest with the Indiana Capital Chronicle. We're talking about the big ruling on Thursday, which threw out a big part of Indiana's election law, throughout the two that people were required to have voted in 2 consecutive or 2 most recent votes in a primary in order to run in that party's primary. Go ahead, Casey.
Nikki, I'm wondering if you can tell, why is Jim Banks so worked up about John Rust? I mean, there's other people that are running in this Republican primary as well, but he just keeps attacking John Rust. What is the deal?
I think it's probably twofold, and I wrote a column about this last week that ironically was going to run Friday, and I had to rework it after the ruling. I think it's twofold. I think John Rust has money. and can do more than some of the other candidates who are filed. You know, John Rust is you know, he's up on billboards. He's driving around the state in a big RV. He's doing ads. So there is a little bit of that. I also think some people just do better when they kind of have an opponent and they can focus on, you know, it can get them going. I think that might be the case with Congressman Banks.
Now, in marketing, typically if you're number one, you don't mention number two because it legitimizes them. And it seems to me that Jim Banks keeps mentioning John Rust and all of these attacks. Isn't that what he should not be doing? I mean, shouldn't he just be ignoring it and hoping it will go away? But instead he keeps talking about him.
I agree. I mean, I think he's lending credibility to his opponent and giving his opponent more traction than John Rust would get on his own. Now, obviously, this lawsuit makes it a little different. And every time we write about the lawsuit, that's, you know, free earned media for John Rust. So I think, you know, when I asked the Banks campaign about it, they basically said, look, we're not taking anything for granted. And here's a great reason why. We could have ignored this. And now he can still be on the ballot. And so pending appeals, obviously.
Nikki Kelly, our guest. We're talking about the big ruling that came down last week that threw out a big portion of Indiana's election law, the requirement that you had to vote in 2 consecutive primaries of that party in order to be eligible to run for that party. You know, the one that always got me, Nikki, was, and I think Dietrich mentioned this in his ruling, well, even if you didn't vote in 2 consecutive primaries, if the party likes you, there's one unelected person, which is a county party chairman, who could just go, nah, it's fine. You could stay. I mean, that is just totally ridiculous that that's how we are judging who can run for public office.
Yeah, that was part of his ruling, is basically they didn't set up any guidelines or guardrails for what gets you that exception. And it's unequal treatment because a chairman in one county might have a different way of judging whether you're Republican than a chairman in another county. Some chairmen just refuse to give anyone an exception, you know, versus others that do. And yes, John Rust definitely has voted in Democrat primaries. But, you know, in his side, he shows that, you know, he's never given to Democrat candidates. You know, sometimes there weren't good Republican races or he was supporting a friend, that kind of thing. So the whole question of whether voting in 2 primaries actually shows that you're a Republican was a key theme of the ruling.
In the ruling, Abdul had a big piece on this over the weekend. In the ruling, the judge did not address this directly, but he alluded to it. It sounds like the signature requirement, which is you got to get 4,500 signatures throughout all 9 congressional districts, could be the next one to go. Are the Republicans that you've talked to, are they worried about that now?
No, I haven't heard that at all. The signature requirement has been challenged before and been upheld. This 2 primary rule is a lot more new. And I think, honestly, if this had challenged the 1 primary rule, which it was 1 primary before 2021 when they upped it to 2 primaries, I think that probably would have survived, largely because the issues with residency and age wouldn't come into play.
Is this a case where because you make a good point, up until 2021 it was 1 primary. Is this a case where the Republicans got so greedy that they got kind of caught with their hand in the cookie jar and it ended up biting them in the backside?
Well, we'll see. You know, this case could be before the Indiana Supreme Court pretty quickly. They could obviously, due to the compressed time frame, it'll move fast. And there is some precedent kind of both ways on the side, so it'll be a fascinating decision.
Nikki Kelly from the Indiana Capitol Chronicle joining Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Nikki, do you see that this is going to change future elections? Big time? Like, we know it's going to change this one. Do you see a lot more candidates entering the fold in the future?
Yeah, I think definitely more. I know last year, I sat through that Indiana Election Commission meeting the first time the 2 primary rule was in effect, and just case after case after case, they tossed people off the ballot. And they were new Republicans, or they didn't know or, COVID really brought out a lot of people who didn't like how Republicans handled that. So I think they were trying to tamp that down a little. So it'll definitely provide more competition in primaries. That's for darn sure.
Nikki, before we let you go, there's big drama at the State House, and that is someone is very angry, supposedly, that their Christmas tree was not as big as the other statewide office.
Who was it?
Yeah, come on, tell.
Look, here's the deal. So I have it from very good sources, but they're not comfortable with being named. And this office holder has not returned any emails or calls. I even tried to talk to the tree farm. So until I can get someone who's willing to be named, I can't quite say that. But let me just tell you, it's 100% accurate.
What if we guess? Will you say yes, no?
Nikki, blink twice. Abdul said in the cheat sheet it was Diego. Blink twice if it's Diego. Okay, very good.
There we go.
Nikki Kelly, you go ahead.
I'm not doing anything.
Nikki Kelly, you are the best. Thank you for all you do, and everybody should go read your piece about this big election ruling at IndianaCapitalChronicle.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, we start Border Week with former Yuma Sector Chief Chris Clem and what you really need to know about the wall. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Uline is here for the hard workers, for the ones rolling up their sleeves, working round the clock, and getting the job done. You're dedicated to doing what it takes to keep a business growing. Uline is dedicated to helping you make that happen. Working 7 days a week, staying fully stocked and ready to ship any of our 41,000 items the same day. Uline, your shipping and industrial supply specialists. Visit uline.com.
Downtown Indy, dressed in holiday style and adorned with bright lights and holiday sights all season long. Where friends visit Monument Circle with its festive lighting, audio, and video presentations every night of the week. Make new memories while enjoying award-winning restaurants just steps away from your favorite attractions, sporting events, and performances. Come winter wander in downtown. Come for an event, stay for a holiday experience. Go to downtownindy.org/holiday happenings for all the info.
My husband Bob has Parkinson's and he needs more help now, and I need more support to help him. Thanks to Indiana Pathways for Aging, we're getting the support we need to help him right here at home, like with meal prep and basic personal care and even respite support for me.
Pathways provides Hoosier Medicaid members, age 60 and over, support for care their way, so they can live life their way. The program begins in summer of 2024. Call 87-PATHWAY-4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Bear Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is 15 minutes away from 10 o'clock with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Question.
Yeah?
Is there an expiration date on shampoo and body wash?
Not from the smell of it.
Okay, so I think we touched on this last week, that because Urban One is moving all the radio stations around. A bunch of offices are being moved around.
Yeah.
And the same office that I have had since
beginning of time
came to this place in 2016, I am being... Look, I don't know what the Trail of Tears actually felt like, but I kind of feel like this is what I'm experiencing now, where I'm being kicked off my land, and somebody said, "We've seen you make your ruling. Now let's see you enforce it."
You staked your claim, and then somebody came along and said, "You got to go."
Yeah, and so I am being forced to move up with you.
Sorry about your luck.
Well,
as you can see, my office is very neat.
It is kind of weird that I have never had an office with the person that I worked with. I've always been behind the person that I've worked with. And
pushing.
So I've been moving all of my stuff and throwing my stuff away. And I came upon like one of those, it's the sort of thing you'd get for Christmas. It was like a travel bag of Old Spice body wash and shampoo.
Yeah.
I am certain I had it here from use of one of my many late night endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
and I was wondering, I have no idea how long I've had it back there, but I'm guessing, I mean, it's been at least 3 or 4 years now.
Well, I did spray the body spray.
Yeah.
And it still smells like Old Spice.
So
now our office smells like Old Spice.
So am I good to take that home and use it because it's perfectly good stuff, but I don't want to give myself some sort of...
No, I think you're good.
Really?
Had I sprayed it and it just smelled like alcohol, I think that would have been an indicator that it had gone bad. But no, it still smells like Old Spice.
But I'm more
so
concerned
I
about
think
the
you're good.
shampoo and the body wash because there's about $10 worth of shampoo and body wash left there.
Yeah.
That will...
I think you'll be able to determine right away when you're in the shower if it comes out, in a chunk, then maybe it's no good. But
if someone from the shampoo/body wash industry, because I looked all over the bottle and I didn't see any sort of best if used by date on there.
No expiration date.
I'm thinking I'm about 4 or 5 years into this. So if you think it would be good after 4 or 5 years, let me know and I'll take it home. Otherwise, I'm going to pitch it. I've left a large collection of stuff on your desk.
Yeah.
If you don't want any of it,
just pitch it.
Yeah, I ended up moving most of the stuff. I thought about throwing it all away or having a yard sale, and then I thought, no. I've got too many memories with too many people who have sent me a lot of that stuff, and it would just be, I feel like I'd be, taking a dump on the goodwill and generosity of people, listeners who have sent the stuff to me over the years. I kept most of it.
I did grab you another trash can, by the way.
Thank you.
I noticed that you filled up the other trash can with shoes.
Yeah, I had a lot. Those shoes have been there a long. I have no idea
Apparently.
I have no idea how those shoes got there either. Again, clearly.
Some memories were made.
I don't know. Casey's like, how are you doing? I was like, I feel like I'm pitching away my life here.
Yeah, I know. It's an emotional experience for you. We'll make new memories in the front office.
My favorite thing, though, about them moving me up to the front is now I can put my governor is an idiot sign right in the window.
And everybody can see it.
And everyone, when they walk past all the executives or whatever's going to be on this floor, will now see that every time they walk by. I'm very excited.
So I wanted to talk about something as well.
Oh,
I know
how exciting.
that you're having a big day moving your office and everything. I don't know if you caught this last week. The Biden administration announced an additional $4.8 billion in student loan debt transfer.
Oh,
that's going to affect 80,000 borrowers.
Congratulations.
So far, the total debt cancellation by the Biden administration has topped nearly $132 billion, and it affects more than 3.6 million Americans.
That's pretty wild, Casey. I didn't know you could just cancel debt.
But, apparently if you're Joe Biden, you just, wave a magic wand and these things happen. But Rob, over the weekend.
Yes.
The dude and I did something, and I want to share it with you.
How exciting.
This is one of those braggadocious moments.
Yeah, absolutely.
So without any government assistance or student debt transfer, we made the very last tuition payment to Purdue for our child. Ever!
Congratulations. So
we worked, we saved, we paid.
That's great.
That's the way it's supposed to work, right?
Yeah. Okay. So my question to you is, why did you not make your daughter pay for this?
Well, she had a part-time job to help supplement her lifestyle.
Yeah.
But that's our gift to her, right?
It's nice.
We didn't count on anybody else but ourselves to help create that for her. Not everybody's path is a 4-year college degree.
Yeah.
I understand that. However, that was her direction. But we didn't rely on anybody to make that happen for her but us.
I love that.
The final
So
payment
nice
of college tuition ever.
So now you are like, isn't it Dave Ramsey to do the debt-free thing?
Mhm.
Because I know you paid for your house in $100 bills.
Sure.
So you're done with that too.
Sure.
So you're just the world is
Debt-free,
your
baby.
oyster.
Debt-free.
And now Jim can buy a whole bunch of new pressing.
He better not.
Machines.
He better not. But I can't tell you how amazing that is. I mean,
that's great. I love that.
And
I love that.
I have to give a lot of credit to her dad, the dude,
Now-
because he was the one who was smart enough to figure out how to make that happen.
My question:
no scholarships, no government assistance, no anything from anybody else. Just hard work from mom and dad.
I remember my final college payment, Casey.
Yeah.
And I literally did it in cash.
Yeah.
And I said, count it.
Did you show up with a roll of pennies?
Do you worry that she will not appreciate it as much as she should since she didn't have to pay for it?
No.
Do you worry about that?
No, because she thanks us often. She knows.
Well-
She knows. Trust me, she's reminded of it.
Well, I mean, in
we
fairness,
let her know.
I thank you all the time for being here, and I don't mean it at all. So, I mean, do you believe her sincerity when she
Yes,
thanks
I
you?
do,
Okay.
because she's a nice person.
No.
So I do believe her. I think she knows. She understands.
Hey, congratulations for you. You're debt-free. You live in a mansion. Your kid has no college debt.
It's not a mansion.
And Kevin and I are here barely being able to pay our bills. So congratulations. Way to rub it in our face. Hey, I did want to say, I forgot to mention this because of Radiothon.
Yeah.
I met a guy last week who's a huge fan of our show.
Yeah?
I was bartending a Christmas party, and he was the caterer. Rodney was his name. Cochran's is the catering company, by the way. They do a lot of the catering at the golf course. And Rodney walked over and goes, "Are you?" And I just stopped him in mid-sentence and said, yes. And he goes, "I didn't believe it, but my son-in-law who works here, he told me it was you." And I said, "Well, it's not Elvis. Yes, I work in radio, so I must work a second job." And Rodney's story, this is amazing. I don't know how old Rodney is. Maybe he's in his late 60s. I don't know. He runs his catering company. They're gangbusters on the catering company. They do all sorts of weddings and events and parties. And he started when he was very, very young, like as low as you could possibly get. I think he said he was like a dishwasher somewhere. And over time, throughout his whole life, he worked his way up. He worked his way up into management of running places, and then eventually bought a Pizza King and sold the Pizza King, and now owns this catering company. And his whole life has been about employing other people and paying it forward and giving charity to other people. And it was just the greatest story ever to hear this guy's story about how he did it just all on his own because he believed in himself and hard work. And so, Rodney, it was phenomenal meeting you and your family the other night. And thank you for listening to the show. And I meant to say that the other day, but we have so many cool people, Casey, who listen to this program every single day. It was just, I am just always blown away at the people who give of their time to us every single day. And so I absolutely wanted to mention that, and I totally forgot because of Radiothon.
Well, thank you, Rodney, for listening. Hey, I wanted to mention to you, I don't know if you saw this, but every year Pantone comes out with their color of the year.
Who?
Pantone.
Who is that?
They're like the ones that do the paint chips
No
when
idea.
you go into the hardware store to paint a
like
wall.
I want a magenta purple.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Okay,
that's there's an actual company.
Yes, and these guys, they officially every year they announce the color of the year, and it's supposed to embody the feelings of that year. So they have come out and announced that peach fuzz is the color of the year for next year. It's supposed to enrich mind, body, and soul.
Peach fuzz. It's like when Kevin tries to grow a beard. There it is.
Peach fuzz, color of the year for next year. It's 9:55 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
In the know, I'm Diane Charles. At BJ's Wholesale Club, members save up to 25% off grocery store prices every day. Brianna Keene, spokesperson at BJ's Wholesale Club.
BJ's Wholesale Club, located in Noblesville, has everything members need this season, from fresh produce for holiday meals to the hottest brands for gift giving, all at an unbeatable value in an easy one-stop shop.
At BJ's Wholesale Club, members can shop for everything they need to prepare for entertaining this holiday, including delicious frozen appetizers and decadent desserts. Plus, members can holiday shop from a wide assortment of on-trend apparel, top toys, and so much more.
BJ's members can take advantage of fueling their tanks at BJ's Gas. Plus, there are many convenient ways to shop, like curbside pickup and same-day delivery, getting groceries delivered to your front door in as little as 2 hours. So shop BJ's Wholesale Club this holiday season to enjoy incredible savings.
To learn more, visit bjs.com/Noblesville.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411.
The always ready for breakfast deal.
Going to bed already? Yep. Breakfast at Mickey D's tomorrow. So, sooner I go to bed, sooner it'll be morning. Sooner I'll be at Mickey D's. This is actually brilliant. You can come too. Turn out that light.
Good mornings become great mornings when you have McDonald's breakfast. Now grab a sausage McMuffin, sausage biscuit, or hash browns and get another for $1. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
Say hello to the power, performance, and precision of Ram trucks at Kahlo and Noblesville. The strength and style of Ram, combined with the experience and service you'll only find at Kahlo. Right now, save up to $15,000 off MSRP on Ram. See the massive inventory of Ram trucks at hellokahlo.com or visit the new showroom on State Road 37 in Noblesville.
All rebates and incentives included in final discount. Stock number KCN 220309. TRX Raptor and ZR2 models excluded from all offers. See dealer for details. Offer absolutely ends January 31st, 2024.
My name is Donita, and I cared for my mother for 8.5 years. There were times where I was like, I can't do this alone. Then I found CareForth. They gave me the resources and the confidence to care for Mom at home. They even paid me. I'm so happy I was able to care for Mom, but even more grateful I wasn't alone. When I say they're like family, I mean it.
Caring for a loved one at home? Get support and get paid by visiting careforth.com. That's careforth.com.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, save over $40 on a Werner 6-foot stepladder. Was $115, now just $69.98. And there's more. Get up to 30% off select kitchen cabinet orders. Visit us in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 12/7 through 12/13 on item number 98148. While supplies last. Minimum purchase and exclusions apply. See associate for details.
Your one blood donation can help save the lives of up to 3 people. Give blood through the American Red Cross to help hospital patients. Visit redcrossblood.org today.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Greenwood police are trying to figure out why a man was shot to death. Plus, Chris Davis reports on the verdict for 2 IMPD officers and this failed attempt by a woman at an Evansville airport. I'm Kirk Darling. That and more coming up from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
More worry here about what's happening in Gaza. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
This is an especially critical time in our work together to keep our communities safe.
Attorney General Merrick Garland at a violent crime reduction summit in Indianapolis saying we must be vigilant amid rising threats of terrorism as Israel's military keeps up the attacks in Gaza. And government spokesman Eylon Levy says they won't stop until they destroy Hamas.
Getting all the hostages home and making sure that the Gaza Strip can never threaten the people of Israel again.
Israel says 20 of the 137 hostages Hamas has in Gaza are dead. Hamas warns none could get out alive if their demands aren't met. We thought right about now former President Trump would be back in court in New York to testify a second time at his company's civil trial. Instead, he changed his mind. Writing on Truth Social, he has nothing more to say. They've done nothing wrong, calling it a rigged witch hunt. The judge already ruled the Trump organization committed fraud. Now, the former president remains the frontrunner by far in the Republican White House race with a 44-point lead over Nikki Haley in a Wall Street Journal poll, which also shows she might be the better GOP challenger to President Biden head-to-head.
Trump leads 47 to 43%, but the margin is even wider for Ambassador Nikki Haley, who commands a 17-point lead in a hypothetical matchup with President Biden. One polling scenario shows Trump leading Biden by 6 points when 5 potential third-party candidates are added to the mix.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. There's a lot of tornado damage north of Nashville, Tennessee to clean up, where a lot of people lost everything in weekend tornadoes. 6 people were killed.
Power crews and trucks, Bill,
are in position right now trying to restore the electricity as thousands are still out and enduring these cold temperatures.
Fox Weather's Robert Ray out among the ruins in Clarksville where it's below freezing.
The track of this tornado, we are told, over 40 miles long and 600 yards wide.
America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Not a lot to know just yet. It's 31 and cloudy downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. A man found shot to death in Greenwood. The man was found sitting in a parked car outside of a house near Worthsville and Chic Roads. It's not clear yet what led to the shooting, but the coroner says the man killed is Ethan David, an 18-year-old from Indianapolis. A firefighter was hurt putting out a fire in Indianapolis that has left a family without a home.
What's the address of your emergency?
Yeah, there's a fire, a house on fire.
911 audio of neighbors calling in the fire that happened in Lawrence on the east side over the weekend. Children inside had to be dropped outside from a second-story window. It's not clear yet how the fire started. Going back to the riots in 2020, Chris Davis reports on 2 IMPD officers who were found not guilty on some charges.
You might remember that time as pretty rough. The police wanted people to stay out of downtown Indianapolis, and there was a curfew in place. 2 people decided that they would violate that curfew, and so the police officers used force, batons, pepper balls, etc. Now, Jonathan Horlock and Nathaniel Shawwacker have been found not guilty of some of those charges. They'll have to wait until next year to find out what happens on the remaining charges. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A woman in Evansville is in jail after she tried to bring meth onto a plane at the city's regional airport. TSA agents say that they discovered a suspicious package in the waist of her pants, and they took that package, ran tests, and confirmed that it was meth inside, along with a smoking pipe. She was arrested and taken to jail by state troopers. A bad performance all around for the Indianapolis Colts. They lost to the Cincinnati Bengals 34-14 on Sunday.
Really hurtful because Gus Bradley usually adjusts the defense. Every time we had a big play or we needed a big play, if the refs didn't blow the call on it, we did.
Fans reacting on the Bell Tire Radio Network. Now 7-6 on the season. The Colts hope to rebound against the Pittsburgh Steelers Saturday. I'm Kirk Darling. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
A house isn't a home without a little wear and tear, spilled milk, or muddy paws. But don't just clean it, quick shine it. Hey, Pat Sullivan here for Quick Shine Finishes and Cleaners with some Floor Care 101 tips. First, no matter the surface type, be sure to remove dust and debris. Avoid heavy chemicals or all-purpose liquids as they can damage the sealant layer or leave an oily residue. Now, to best clean and protect your floors at a modest price, don't just clean it, quick shine it. Quick Shine Finishes and Cleaners use non-toxic ingredients, making it better for kids, pets, and the environment. With an EPA Safe Choice certification, and QuickShine has a full line of products to treat any surface, including their floor cleaner, floor finisher, and hardwood floor luster. I use it on my own floors. Made right here in Central Indiana for over 60 years by Holloway House, a family-owned company. QuickShine Finishes and Cleaners is available at retailers everywhere.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Monday, December 11th. It is 5 minutes after 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So this happened on Thursday. And again, because of Radiothon, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but we're going to right now. Hunter Biden has been charged in connection with a long-running Justice Department investigation into his taxes. This is the second criminal case that the special counsel has brought against Joe Biden's son.
Okay, so my question now is he going, because he's supposed to testify in front of the Congress
right
soon,
right? And now he's being investigated. So is he going to be able to do that? Or does he say, I can't talk because I'm being investigated?
Well, this is the big question. The timing of the indictment is rather suspicious, is it not?
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to make sure we have the timeline here and the slew of events that have occurred correct. So he is under investigation. They come up with, they being the government, this totally sweetheart deal on the tax and gun charges.
Yeah.
He would serve no jail time, which is crazy on the two things that the liberals have said are unforgivable. If you listen to the left talk, what is it? It's the guns and the rich guys avoiding the taxes. And he did them both.
Right.
And he was going to get off with no jail time. Then the hang-up becomes, at the plea hearing, Hunter Biden's attorneys get into it with the prosecutors about whether or not he can be charged with things in the future. They're trying to say, well, we're under the impression this gives him blanket immunity. The prosecution says, no, it doesn't. The judge, who's already mad because hadn't Hunter Biden's attorneys called pretending to be, or had allegedly called pretending to be prosecutors, was mad about that already. He said, all right, I'm done with both of you people. Everything's out, throws it out. Then, because he's living in Los Angeles, they say, well, let's go ahead and give jurisdiction to Los Angeles over this. And so now, after everything got dropped, now everything is essentially out in Los Angeles. And that's where we're at today. These charges have come out there.
Yes.
Okay, did I get it all correct?
I think so.
All right, that's why I get paid the big bucks.
It was a 56-page indictment that said he subverted the payroll and tax withholding process of his own company. His own company, keep in mind, spent millions of dollars on a lifestyle that includes drugs, escorts and girlfriends, luxury hotels, rental properties, exotic cars, clothing, and other items of a, quote, personal nature.
So this is my favorite part of this is the defense always is, oh, this poor drug-addicted local youth who's being persecuted because of who his famous father is. Casey, you did have drugs in there, and yes, he spent a lot of money on drugs. However, you also read a bunch of things that aren't drugs.
Yep.
I mean,
are you talking about the escorts or the exotic cars?
Well, or what was the luxury clothing?
Luxury hotels, rental properties, clothing.
This is a guy who was clearly just took his middle finger and extended it towards society and said, I ain't doing that. And so nobody should have any sympathy for this guy. Absolutely none. There are many, many people who are addicted to drugs, seriously addicted to drugs, and those people should absolutely get the help they deserve. We talked about it with the Harbor Light people on Friday at Radiothon, and absolutely we as a society should have sympathy for those people. Those people are also not involved in deep tax avoidance while they're buying luxury cars and clothes and hookers and everything else. I mean, oh my goodness.
So the special counsel's team said that Hunter engaged in a 4-year scheme to not pay at least $1.4 million in taxes that he owed between 2016 through 2019.
Okay, time out. So that's what he owed in taxes. So let's say his applicable federal tax rate, I'm just going to pick a number, was 35%. So if he owed $1.4 million, that means take 65% on top of that, and that's his actual income. How does a guy with no skill set whatsoever earn somewhere between like $5 and $10 million, Casey?
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
He's selling his last name.
Has anybody stopped and said, how did this guy acquire that amount of money? Because I don't know if you know, Casey, but like your top kind of like corporations and law firms and places like that, they really kind of frown on people who spend their time with hookers and deep drug addictions because they can't really perform for the employees or the customers of said corporation or firm. So how did Hunter Biden make all of this money?
I don't know, Rob.
I mean, we are led to believe he has such a drug addiction that he can't pay his taxes.
Right.
But yet he is competent enough to serve on these boards and commissions and provide advice and counsel for international corporations, Casey.
Yep. The indictment also referenced his Beautiful Things memoir, the book that he wrote in 2021, where he was paid more than $140,000 related to that book.
Who would have wanted to read Hunter Biden? If Hunter Biden's name were Hunter Jones.
It wouldn't have gone as far. Who cares? Right? Again, I think you answered your own question. How is he getting his money? His last name. Okay, so on Meet the Press over the weekend, Senator Chris Murphy, who's a Democrat from Connecticut, he said that Hunter should be prosecuted, but as he's answering this question, I want you to notice the spin as he's talking.
I want to ask you about some of the other headlines this week. Hunter Biden has been indicted again on tax charges. Do you think the Hunter Biden prosecution is political, as his lawyer has contended, or do you think that it's legally justified?
I think it's legally justified. I think this is a very troubled individual who has done things that are worthy of prosecution, and so I look forward to that case continuing. I think ultimately the American people understand that Hunter Biden is not going to be on the ballot next fall, that Joe Biden is going to be on the ballot, and that this is a president who has led an economic recovery that has been pretty unprecedented. That's, I think, going to be what matters to the American people.
Okay, so yes, it's not Hunter who's going to be on the ballot. However, it was Hunter that was in Air Force One with Joe Biden. It was Hunter on the balcony 4th of July at the White House standing next to Joe Biden. He's never going to be held accountable because the two cases, they're just going to be pushed until after the election, and then Daddy will end up pardoning him or drop out of the election saying, I have to take care of my son.
And he was scheming with his dad.
Yes. Hunter's been too close to Joe to separate the two from the matter.
They act like Joe Biden, there is definitive proof that Joe Biden was making money off of this. This is why when the Republicans, we have begun an inquiry. We'll see where the inquiry leads us. Hopefully the inquiry will tell it. You already know what happened. You have the checks. That would be like if I gave Kevin a check for $200 from Rob Kendall, and then somebody were like, we need to launch an investigation to find out if Kevin actually got money from Rob Kendall. You have the check. What other... there's text messages, there's emails, there's ledgers, there's checks, Casey.
Oh,
checks.
Don't be ridiculous, Rob. That's not actually evidence. Okay, so also on Meet the Press, Senator Mitt Romney was on. He was a guest. So Republicans are signaling that they may vote for a Joe Biden impeachment inquiry this week. And what do you think Romney says? Whose side do you think Romney's on?
I would guess, by the way, I love that we are now 11 months into the Republicans controlling the government, and we just might get an inquiry this week. An inquiry, not the actual impeachment, but the inquiry this week, which, again, keep in mind, there are checks. Again, I don't know what else you need. Even if you took the laptop and the text messages and the ledgers and everything else out, there are checks. I'm going to guess Mitt Romney said there shouldn't be an impeachment and that it's a distraction to the American people.
He says that he doesn't see any evidence that would warrant it.
As you know, House Republicans have signaled that they may vote as early as this week on an impeachment inquiry into President Biden, despite the fact that they haven't shown yet a direct link between Hunter Biden's business dealings and President Biden. Have you seen any evidence that President Biden has committed high crimes and misdemeanors?
No, I don't see any evidence of that at all. I think before you begin an impeachment inquiry, you ought to have some evidence, some inclination that there's been wrongdoing, and so far there's nothing of that nature that's been provided.
So are you opposed to the impeachment inquiry?
Well, if I were in the House, I'd vote against it, unless they were able to bring forward evidence that suggested there were a high crime or misdemeanor that had been committed. But so far, that hasn't been the case. Look. Fortunately,
Stop. I'm gonna start getting really angry, and this is my last day for the year.
Let's keep it light.
So let's take a note here, Casey. Office for sale to foreign entities and governments is not a high crime or misdemeanor. However, telling people to go home on January 6th is.
Yep.
Check.
Okay.
Got it.
Mitt Romney, well aware, though, that people don't like him. And he was asked about whether he would endorse somebody. And no, he knows it's a kiss of death.
Let's turn now to the 2024 race as you bring up former President Trump. Why haven't you endorsed a candidate yet, Senator, and do you plan to do so?
Well, because if I endorse someone, it would be the kiss of death. No, I'm not going to do that. Maybe I should pick. Shall I endorse the person I like least right now? Look, I'm not going to be endorsing President Trump, obviously. I've made that very clear. Look, Chris Christie has done a terrific job so far. I think his being in the race has kept Donald Trump from coming to the debates. Because I think Donald Trump recognized if he went to the debate with Chris Christie would reveal him for what he was. And Trump would be badly hurt, so he stayed out. But Nikki Haley, she's rising. Right now, I think she's the only one that has a shot at becoming the nominee, other than President Trump. It's a long shot on her part, but she's the one that has a shot. So we'll see.
Okay, so he doesn't mention DeSantis or Ramaswamy, so I guess they're marked safe. Right? He did mention Chris Christie and Nikki Haley, and he knows that that's a kiss of death, so whoops. But I'm curious, will Meet the Press ever feature a pro-Trump guest or a Republican who's not considered a rhino on the show?
Hey, when we come back, you sent me this. For once, you're the instigator here on this program.
Right.
You sent me this article from Indiana Capital Chronicle about
the leap thing.
About how much this could cost the people of the state of Indiana. Oh, my gosh.
Well, the headline grabbed my attention, and I thought, okay, we should probably inform everybody about this.
Yes, I mean, this is a really, really interesting article about how much, if things go wrong, the LEAP district could cost you as a taxpayer in the state of Indiana. This is crazy.
That's coming up with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
You heard the bell. You answered the call.
Phones are pretty busy.
You've helped the Salvation Army do the most good.
Robert in Carmel, thank you for your 10 by 12. Robert in Westfield, $50.
You've helped children in need.
This is a new record.
Throughout central Indiana.
We hope for $460,000.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Total, $460,000.
That's amazing.
Thank you. From 93 WIBC.
There's a bunch of smiles up here right now.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose Toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
You've heard the buzz about IT jobs in cybersecurity and AI, right? Why not prepare for a career in these fields and take advantage of the high demand? You could enjoy a more rewarding and recession-resistant lifestyle. Train in just a few short months at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Already in IT? Skill up for positions employers need to fill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Untuckit has everything he needs this holiday season. Shop now and save big with our biggest sale of the year happening at Untuckit.com or at any of the 80-plus Untuckit stores. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn untucked. They keep him looking sharp and feeling comfortable. He'll love to unwrap one of our iconic button-downs, super soft flannels, or cozy sweaters. Get them while they last during our biggest sale of the year. Shop Untuckit's biggest sale of the year happening now at Untuckit.com or at any of our over 80 stores.
Pierce Jewelers has a spectacular array of diamond earrings, diamond pendants, diamond rings, and diamond bracelets. They shop the world to bring you the very best. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
All I need are some tasty waves, cool buzz, and I'm fine.
Good morning. It is 21 minutes after 10 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So here's the headline. LEAP water plan costs could fall to customers. That's what a utility watchdog has cautioned.
Yeah, this is a super interesting article, and Indiana Capital Chronicle with the story. And it is when so often politicians use your money to enhance their own standing or desires. And I learned this very early on as an elected official, that the devil on stuff is in the details. And anytime you're talking about doing a project of any magnitude, and most local government projects are a fraction of what we're talking about here with LEAP. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of millions of gallons of water moving daily. You're talking about thousands and thousands of acres of land. I mean, most local government projects are not even close to this. But even local government projects, the actual cost is not really the cost because of the infrastructure cost associated with doing whatever that thing is. So, like, look at our society now. All of these communities around central Indiana, the donut counties, as we'll call them, have experienced massive growth over the past 20 years, both in the home and residential sphere. And yet the cost of living in these donut counties has never been higher than it is today. If you look at taxes, if you look at utility rates, water, sewer, electric, all of that stuff is markedly more expensive than it was 20 years ago. And that's not just because of inflation. It's because so often the growth over the long term does not actually pay for itself when all of the costs are factored in. It's like where I live in Brownsburg. They keep raising these water and sewer rates, and they keep talking about the growth as the need to do it. Well, why would you approve growth if it's not beneficial to the taxpayers? Why would you approve growth, and it happens in all of these communities, if it's going to cost the people who live there more to have it? And in the case of LEAP, where you are talking about already close to $1 billion taxpayer dollars have been spent through the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, and then you have all of these unknowns about transferring all of that water from Tippecanoe County down to Boone County, and then that water has to go somewhere and be dealt with. You are looking at a massive cost that the people who provide the cost, in this case, people like citizens, they're not going to eat that. They're not going to just go, oh, well, this is so great that Holcomb got this mega corporation to come to Indiana. We'll just lose money this month. No, you are going to pay for it. Growth is fine if it is responsible growth that benefits the existing taxpayer. This growth is being paid for by the taxpayer, Casey, at every single turn, because Holcomb judges his worth and the worth of the state based on how many bright, shiny objects he can erect, cost be damned, and the Indiana General Assembly, the Republican Party, is absolutely too petrified to stand up and stop him.
Okay, so this report says that it feared utility customers would bear the cost. The pipeline concept alone would cost about $2 billion. This report goes on to say proposed LEAP project in Boone County reveals severe deficiencies in Indiana's water and economic development policy. And then this coalition noted that a $2.5 billion electric vehicle battery manufacturing plant in Kokomo would bring with it rate increases to gas and electric customers of Duke Energy.
They have no idea, right? The people in charge of this have no idea what the actual cost is. And they're going to finagle the numbers however they can to try to get you to believe the cost is not as great as it actually is, because their goal is to get the thing. It's, again, go back to my community where I live. Their goal is to get that swimming pool. And it's kind of disappeared now because conveniently they haven't shown any return on investment numbers. And I'm sure they're working feverishly behind the scenes because
to make
it's
sure that there's
disappeared for a month. The point is they want the pool. It's not about whether the pool is actually good for the community or what it's going to cost. They want the pool, and let's jam the square peg into the round hole. The same thing here. It's like when we had the mayor of Lebanon on. It is ridiculous to act like, well, we'll just see what this study says. If you actually cared about what the the study said and what the results of studies were, you would have had the studies in the beginning before you stepped in the batter's box. You guys have already hit the ball. You have rounded first. You have rounded second. You're standing on third. You're not going to not touch home plate. So stop misleading people like, well, this is totally up in the air now. We have no idea. The governor's what Gentry described it as a legacy project. The mayor of Lebanon came in here and called it the governor's legacy project. Eric Holcomb has gotten almost everything he has wanted the 7 years he has been in office. The massive growth of government, the massive tax increases, the expansion of Medicaid. I mean, you name it. Eric Holcomb, the Republican Party has rolled over and played dead for him. So you think his legacy project, they're going to start caring about you as a taxpayer? They don't care about you at all.
It is interesting that report says that there's a lot of costs associated with this that we're not hearing about.
Yes, it happens in every single government, local government in these donut counties when they talk about, oh, this project's going to come and that project's going to come. You know what they're not factoring in? Road expansions, roundabouts, traffic lights, water and sewer, all of these things that company, unless it's in a TIF district, which, by the way, the state of Indiana gutted TIF, unless it's the LEAP project, which they're essentially creating a super TIF to be able to pay for this wastewater stuff. Why? Because it's the governor's legacy project.
All right, we've got voicemails on the way and a couple of good news stories, some feel-good stuff on the way. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Got family coming over this holiday season? I do. It's Terry Stacy, and before they get here, I need a couple of rooms painted. Cardwell Do It Best Home Center has got a full line of best look quality paints. Produced by Sherwin-Williams and on sale now through Christmas. $10 off per gallon. Paint and primer all in one with custom computer paint matching. $10 off on best look quality paints. That's a deal. At Cardwell Do It Best. Ready for winter? Snow shovels, rock salt, and ice melter all in stock. Plus lots of great Christmas gift ideas, including Milwaukee M18 Fuel cordless power tools. Cardwell Do It Best Home Center, your discount roofing headquarters. Dimensional roofing on sale for only $21 per bundle. That's just $63 per square with a wide variety of colors in stock. Cardwell Do It Best Center, 3205 Madison Avenue, just south of the Gateway Arch on Indy's South Side, and over 67,000 products available online with free shipping to their store at CardwellHomeCenter.com.
You only have one heart, so let's keep it near everyone it beats for. Franciscan Health is leading the way as the only hospital in Indiana to be recognized as one of HealthGrade's 100 best hospitals for cardiac care and coronary intervention in 2024. We're delivering award-winning heart care in your neighborhood, near everyone you love, because our greatest reward is caring for you. Learn more about our compassionate, patient-focused approach to heart care. Visit us at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Cutting it close with last-minute gift shopping? Helzberg has you covered. It's Helzberg Diamonds must-have holiday sale. Up to 50% off on dazzling lab-grown diamond hoops and stacking bands, diamond pendants, and tennis bracelets. Get the perfect gifts for that special someone. Last-minute shopping has never been so joyful. So don't wait. Head to a Helzberg store near you or helzberg.com. Offer valid through December 24th. While supplies last, see online or in-store for details.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Rockets and assertions. It's 31 and cloudy downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Intense fighting staying that way between Israel and Hamas.
Earlier today, rockets were fired once again toward Israel's second largest city of Tel Aviv, sending hundreds of thousands of people to bomb shelters. The IDF says 10 of those rockets came from the Gaza Strip, one of them making a direct impact just south of Tel Aviv. It comes as Israeli forces continue to make their way deeper into Gaza.
Fox's Trey Yingst. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying this week that it's the beginning of the end for Hamas. Former President Donald Trump says he won't be testifying today in his New York civil fraud trial. He announced that decision on Truth Social. The former president says that he has testified to everything and has nothing more to say after doing so last month. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Every year, millions of people find a health plan at healthcare.gov during open enrollment. They enjoy more doctor visits, pick up prescriptions, and find the care they need. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 a month or less with financial help. Final deadline to enroll is January 16th. Healthcare.gov is here for millions like you, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails. Brought to you by QC Kinetics for non-surgical regenerative medicine treatments at 317-559-PAIN.
And the phone number is 317-684-8444 if you'd like to contribute with our voicemails. But before we get to those, I have to thank Senator Todd Young.
Oh.
He reminded me that today is Indiana Statehood Day. It was today in 1816 that the great state of Indiana became official, 207 years old.
Oh, boy, that's exciting.
Do they normally have a party at the State House?
Yes, they used to when Jim Merritt was there. He was very into Statehood Day, and he would have all sorts of local youth come in, and the year I was there when they did that, I think I was there 2 years where they did that, they had some big reading of something. Merritt did it, and that was when Pence was governor, so he was there. I don't know if they're still doing that or not, but yes, it used to be a very big deal.
It's a big day for Indiana. All right, let's get to some phone calls. We've got Rob 1, Rob 2, and Rob 3
Oh, how
we're going to get through.
exciting. Oh, my goodness.
As I named them after you.
Thank you.
Somebody wanted to call and leave you a message before you go on vacation.
Hey, Rob, I just had to call and give you a hard time before you leave for extended vacation. I think it might have been on Wednesday's show last week. I was playing catch-up, so... but anyway, you had mentioned, or you had asked Casey if she ever had trouble forgetting names, and you said occasionally you have something, but it wasn't a big issue or whatever. And I just remembered a few days prior to that when you were having a difficult time remembering the wise Latino woman. I just thought that was kind of funny. It happens to the best of us, Rob, so hey, thanks. You guys have a great show. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, let's see off the top of my head if I can do the 9 Supreme Court justices unprompted. Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, so you've got the 3 Democrats. It's Sotomayor, Kagan, and Ketanji Brown Jackson. Then you've got Clarence Thomas. You've got Alito. You've got Roberts. You've got Amy Coney Barrett. You've got Kavanaugh. And then you've got, I'll be darned.
One more.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's, the Gorsuch.
There we go.
Oh, that was
wow.
close. Woo!
You're like trying to prove what a great memory you have, and then whoops. Nice job.
There's been so many changes. It used to be, it used to be like these people were justices for so long that you kind of just got them, and then you had a decade to basically be right. But now it seems like it's changed so much the past 4 or 5 years. It's hard to keep track of all of them.
You have to do those mental calisthenics to keep that brain sharp.
What percentage of the populace, Casey, you think could do what I just did, which is name the 9 Supreme Court justices?
Probably not a lot.
Off the top of their head.
I mean, as soon as you said them, I was like, yep, but I couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So good for you.
That's what I bring to the table.
Very nice. Another phone call. You've been cleaning out your office. You're moving offices.
It's
Oh, you're done?
It's done.
Oh, really?
I'm going to leave some little, like a national, what was that Nicolas Cage movie, National Treasure?
Mhm.
I'm going to leave like some little hidden treasures in there for Scotty to see if he finds them. But yes, I'm done.
Some little Easter eggs later to be discovered. Okay, well, somebody wanted to call and talk about you moving your office.
Good morning, Rob and Casey. I understand Rob bemoaning the fact that he's going to lose his office. Been there, done that. It's work if you do it right. However, maybe he should just be thankful for still being gainfully employed. And then on the other hand, he only has a few days of work left in 2023, and he is in contract negotiations. Maybe they're trying to tell, well, gee, man, enough said.
You know the thing. They're trying to give you a subtle hint that's not so subtle.
Here's the thing that I've discovered in these contract negotiations is that it's not so much that I'm so good, but no one who could do what I do would do it for as cheap as I'm willing to do it. No one undersells themselves like me. Because then they know this. And actually, when it was still Emma's, when we did the last one, the lady who I was with basically alluded to this. We know how much joy you get out of making people at the State House miserable, and that's factored into the amount of money
That's
willing to pay you.
That's payment enough. Yeah, that's like a lot of radio stations down in Florida. They'll say, we'll pay you in sunshine, which means you're not going to get a high salary, but at least the weather's nice. For you, Rob Kendall, they say, we're going to pay you in misery of everyone else at the State House.
Yes.
Okay, one more phone call about you. This is your last day for the end of the year.
Oh, my goodness. Listen, this morning, I just was reminded that Rob's going to be missing for almost a month. I now have something to look forward to. Hey, Casey, have a good day. Bye.
We've long talked about this. What does it say about a person? And there's these people in the YouTube who we always laugh at who they subject themselves on a daily basis to something that brings them misery. It would be the equivalent of when I'm home if I watched The View.
Right. Why would you do that to yourself?
Why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah. You know they're teasing you.
Yeah,
because if they didn't care, they wouldn't call it a
Well, I think there are people who genuinely listen out of hate.
You think
I don't
so?
know. Absolutely. Kev, back me up on this. There's a huge portion of the populace who listens out of hate.
Yeah, they feel a lot of anger towards you.
They listen out of hate and they cheer for my demise on a daily basis.
Yeah, they are your worst enemy.
Absolutely,
for sure.
literally, yes.
They just want to get their heart rate up, I guess.
I don't know.
That's what it is.
Well, you can all listen in happiness over the next whatever that's going to be.
Well, I don't know. It really depends because it depends on who's filling in and how they do.
Are you working the whole time?
I think I'm taking a couple days off. Yeah.
Are you working the whole time?
No, I'm going to be off this Friday, and then I'll be back next week for like 2 days, and then I'll be off for the rest of the year.
And then you're done, because Hammer's done on the 14th.
Yeah. So I think we should just really put on a polka music and just go.
Oh, they say when Tony Katz does that, it's great. When he plays...
He's not playing polka music,
when he plays the Little River Band's Cool Change on Thursday or whatever he's playing, they just think that's great.
That's fantastic. He also has a sponsor for it, so that's why they let him do it. If we got a sponsor, they'd let us play polka music too. Okay, so we had this big, long phone call about Chester and Spike, the dogs from Looney Tunes. We did get a couple of calls about that.
Wait. That's that cartoon you used to watch in the 50s, right?
Somebody actually has a comment about that. You saying it's from the 50s.
So I realize I'm late to the party when it comes to commenting on this, but the whole Looney Tunes cartoon you guys were talking about with the dog, Spike. Rob, I'm 35 years old. I'm actually a few years younger than you. And yeah, that was on rerun in the 90s.
Oh.
So I'm not sure why you keep saying, oh, it's for the old people. I'm younger than you, and I know exactly which cartoon Casey was referencing. So it's not just for the young people or the old people. Apparently you just didn't watch Looney Tunes as a kid. And if you were watching MTV, Bruce Springsteen or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so over the winter break,
Yeah.
which is what I'm going to call this.
You going to catch up on your Chester and Spike?
No. I have some life advice for our audience.
Oh,
and then
okay.
first of the year, when we all come back together, maybe we'll be able to carry this forward into the new year.
Okay.
Don't take it all so serious. You do realize sometimes I will just say things to see how much of a rise I can get out of people. And this particular topic, Casey, has 100% proven that.
Yes.
Just the flood of emotion over these two stupid little dogs that have been on TV for 60 years, and it has just worked out brilliantly for me.
Well, I think it offered some perspective because this made me realize that Chester and Spike transcends generations. I mean, you've got millennials listening to it too. I think it's amazing. It's remarkable.
People will find things if they're accidentally on national television, Kevin. Like if something is rolling, somebody will see it. It doesn't make it good.
But I've never seen a better example of how you always say, you know what, when it's something like property taxes, nobody, let's do something. Let's get worked up about this. No phone calls. When it's something silly like a cartoon or a Mexican pizza, we get flooded with phone calls.
Yes.
This is another great example of that.
Someone should create a cartoon that talks about property taxes.
So again, point proven, which was the point I was trying to prove.
Yeah.
And the only way for me to prove the point was to do this. And again, our audience has totally helped me prove the point. So next year, everyone, this is entertainment. We're here to be educated and informed, but I wouldn't get so riled up about everything where we need to spend 4 days trying to prove a point on the two stupid little dogs. I was trying to prove a point. The point has been proven. We can move on to different things.
Not before we get to this last phone call. Because, Rob, somebody is actually on your side.
Hey, guys. Casey, I'm taking Rob's side on this. I'm 59 years old, and I never heard or seen a Chester and Spike. So, and I'm older than dirt, and I've never heard of them. So I got to take Rob's side on this one. Thanks, guys.
Does that make you feel good, knowing that somebody's on your side who hasn't seen it either?
I had a conversation with someone over the weekend who works in the State House, and he goes, this has been a little while ago, but he goes, I had a meeting with Holcomb's people, and somehow your name came up, and they didn't know that we were friends. And
it's good to know that the governor's thinking of you.
Your name came up, and one of the guys in the meeting, it was like Pavlov's dog's response when your name was mentioned. F that guy.
Oh,
except he said
the word.
The word, and my buddy who works at the State House goes, I just wish people knew the real you.
Okay, one more phone call to get to, and this is from a new listener. And she's looking for advice or direction.
Oh my God, what is wrong with this house? Are we really trying to turn this government all over to these liberals who are too stupid to know we're a republic, not a democracy, although that's what they're trying to make us? I'm just so flabbergasted over this Kevin McCarthy deal now. We got rid of one, we're getting rid of another. Anyway, what could one do? Beside that, Rob, I'm glad you're still around for another week so you could discuss this. If you haven't already, I sure am going to miss you, although I do love you and Casey together because she soft plays your rough tone that you do on the radio. I love you guys. Anyway, I'm kind of new to Indiana, and I'm so glad I found your radio station. My name is Nancy, and I live in Greenfield, but you guys are the best. Thank you, but please help figure out what to do.
Oh, Nancy, we're far beyond figuring out what to do.
I think the advice you heard a minute ago, going into the new year, don't take it all so seriously.
Look, your government is run by absolute morons and clowns. They have everyone's interest but you at the forefront of their thinking. And unless you're willing to just totally throw all of these people out, I mean, here's a great example. So we'll see. Here's a great example. You're going to have your friend, Charles Bookwalter, is running for Congress next year in the 4th Congressional District. You just did an event for him at Premier Arms. He is
biggest crowd they've ever had there, by the way.
He's an A-plus candidate. He's running against an absolute, just horrific a person who's done an absolute horrific job in Jim Baird, who is a total do-nothing, go-along-to-get-along establishment clown. And you people will have a choice. If the people are sick of it, they have an opportunity to put a rock-solid constitutional conservative in Charles Bookwalter in there. However, Jim Baird is going to have infinite money thrown at him by the people he supports and props up, and he will have the party apparatus behind him. And I really like Charles, but he's going to have a hell of a time because he's not raising, as most challengers do against entrenched incumbents, the amount of money to blanket the airwaves. And it's another example. There are opportunities to fix this, but so many people are just so apathetic that they're not willing to do the work necessary. I mean, coming up next year, everybody's going to have an opportunity to run for delegate to the state convention. Micah Beckwith is going to be on at the state convention for lieutenant governor, which will give you an independent check and balance of whoever wins that governor's race. Are you willing to put your name on the ballot and run for state delegate to ensure that happens? Are you willing to help get people elected to state delegate who are going to ensure that happens? If you're not willing to put in the work, you're not going to make any changes.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello, it's producer Allison. We just wanted to give a big thanks to every single listener who donated to our annual radiothon benefiting the Salvation Army. The guys have the biggest stories of the day and Monday Gun Day, 3 o'clock right here on 93 WIBC. Oh, and I'll be there too.
No more joint pain. It's not necessary to live another year in pain. Call QC Kinetics right now and make 2024 the year you are back to living a normal life again. Tony Katz here, and QC Kinetics can give you your life back. They're the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. All natural treatments that can repair and restore damaged tissue, giving you pain-free movement. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients around the country. People who had knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, who were able to get lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Make the call right now so you can get the most out of 2024. Got pain from that old injury? Pain from arthritis? Get back to doing what you love. Make that pain go away. And don't forget, you can use your HSA and FSA funds. Get your free consultation with QC Kinetics. 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. QC Kinetics in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel, all with Saturday appointments available. QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Here's an unexpected holiday surprise for all the last-minute shoppers. Now through December 17th, all of Diamond's Direct Diamond Classics are 25% off. That's all diamond earrings, all diamond bracelets, all diamond pendants, an incredible 25% off. Special financing, too. Get the perfect gift at the best value price all year. 25% savings on all diamond earrings, bracelets, and pendants. Now through the 17th only, and only at Diamonds Direct. Get details, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Ah, the holiday party.
Conn's Fine Wines will make your holiday merry. Conn's has hand-selected single-barrel bourbons and the largest selection of cellared vintage wines. Want big? Conn's Fine Wines has Magnums, the biggest inventory of the biggest bottles, the best selection of craft beers, and more. Want it delivered? Only 99 cents delivery with online purchase of $50 or more. Conn's Fine Wines has been locally owned and family operated since 1979. Visit Conn's Fine Wines at 54th and Keystone to make your cork pop.
My name is Donita, and I cared for my mother for 8.5 years. There were times where I was like, I can't do this alone. Then I found CareForth. They gave me the resources and the confidence to care for Mom at home. They even paid me. I'm so happy I was able to care for Mom, but even more grateful I wasn't alone. When I say they're like family, I mean it.
Caring for a loved one at home? Get support and get paid by visiting careforth.com. That's careforth.com.
Discover how to save more of your hard-earned money. Listen to WIBC this Saturday from 5 to 6 a.m. for secure retirement tips from Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. This Saturday, 5 to 6 a.m. on WIBC.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
Good morning, 8 minutes away from 11 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And Jason Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel program joins us in the studio. Good morning.
Every time I hear this song that Kevin's playing right there, I think of the Hammer and Nigel Records parody called Fetterman.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of Betterman.
Right. Good to be back, man. Had a little weekend in Vegas.
Yeah,
Had a
you
good
did.
time.
How was it? Seemed like you had fun.
Yeah, man, I always have a good time in Vegas. Brought my mini-me's with me, Chris and Jake, and we went to the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I'd ever been to the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. Really cool. Like, I see why they host all these major fights and, UFC events. Like, if you're going to just watch a basketball game, Gainbridge Fieldhouse is probably the best place in the country. But the way they've got the lights and the music and everything else at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, it's pretty solid. So we had a good time there. And surprisingly, more Pacer fans than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Because we thought going out there to watch that Pacers and Lakers game in Vegas, it's like, all right, this is going to be 95-5, like Lakers to Pacer fan ratio. It was still heavy Lakers. Don't get it twisted. Probably 70-30, though.
You did get to see the Sphere, too, you said? That's that big $2.5 billion concert venue. My wife loves that because it's all LED lights on the outside.
Yes.
And most of the time, the default thing is it's a emoji ball, but my wife calls it Sun Baby, and she loves the faces that it makes. And you got to see that thing up close and in person.
Yeah, that's the first time that I've seen that. And it's crazy. When you get real up close to it, you can't see anything. Like, it looks like it's not on. But once you get down the strip or you're across the street or whatever, then you see it. And I believe U2 was doing a concert there the night we were there. So it was a lot of, like rock and roll and U2 stuff on it as opposed to just like the eyeball or something.
Was that the first time the boys had been to Vegas?
Chris had been there before. That's the first time Jacob had been.
What did he think?
So Jacob is a little bit more of an introvert. These were some of his quotes from the weekend. The hookers are not as pretty as I thought they would be. To which I had to explain to my high school sophomore, yes, if you have to hand out cards on the Las Vegas Strip, business probably isn't good for you.
Right.
The high-end call girls don't have to advertise.
They don't need that.
Right. He's not a big fan of like all the over-the-top lights.
Yeah.
Right. He's like a country boy. He likes the mountains and all that kind of stuff. But he enjoyed the ball game.
Yeah, good.
We got to say Velvet was resoundingly defeated in the Biden Madness Championship. I do think the fact that we were distracted by Radiothon and couldn't promote our audience to go vote, I'm not going to use the term rigged election or stop the steal, but I think if we'd have had a normal show to be able to move our audience to Velvet, let's face it, it was like Larry Bird in 79 with
She went
Indiana
down
State.
big.
I mean, it was a great run and then just totally outmanned in that championship game. It's the end for Velvet.
So really, once you look at what the thing has done in its own Biden Madness run and then the in-season tournament, it really is the 76 Hoosiers of Biden Madness.
It is. And I was like Larry Bird with that towel over his face after getting smoked by Magic Johnson in 79. Velvet had a great run, but I think we've given Velvet all it could get. It got more than anybody ever thought, and they made it once again to the championship
My
game.
favorite thing is that it's known as Velvet, and the one that won is known as the Thing.
Right. And that's the President of the United States.
Right, exactly.
That should be the, leader of the free world, and we're having a debate between the Thing and Happy Birthday Velvet.
What's your last day? Is it Wednesday?
Yes, Wednesday will be my final day of the year here.
Nigel's going to show up all those days, are we sure?
I don't know about that, but I know I won't be here. I'm
Wish
the
him the
Magic
best.
Johnson gift right here. I'm not going to be here.
What's coming up this afternoon?
Monday Gun Day with Guy Relford. Biggest stories of the day. And we are going to have one final Moonshine Monday.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
That kitchen or bath remodel you've been ready to start? With inflation rising, waiting is just going to make it more expensive. Start that remodel today. Hey, it's Tony Katz for Booher Remodeling. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. Get on the schedule now to avoid some of those price increases. Booher Remodeling is the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Go to BooherRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation. BooherRemodeling.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Want to look your best? Then go to the best. Go where I go. 459 Barber Lounge. Across from the Fashion Mall on 86th Street. 459online.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
Want to save 25 to 75% on your diamond? Come see Pierce Jewelers in Carmel before you spend your hard-earned money somewhere else. Shop local. Shop smart. Shop Pierce Jewelers.
Coming up in 2 minutes, police are trying to figure out what led to a man being shot and killed. Plus, what was the verdict for 2 Indy cops, and what your member of Congress is proposing to cut down on anti-Semitism on college campuses. I'm Kurt Darling. That and more coming up from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. After Fox News, you're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
Will Harvard's president be the next one to go?
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Some Jewish students and others hope so, ratcheting up the pressure in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Harvard's campus had been circled by electronic billboards demanding the university fire its president, Claudine Gay, as a result of her not distinctly saying calls for the mass killing of Jews violated campus policy.
That's from testimony last week at a House hearing into anti-Semitism on campuses. One of the others who also refused to condemn calls for genocide is out.
Elizabeth McGill resigned as president of the University of Pennsylvania this weekend, but will remain on faculty.
That's Fox's Eben Brown. There was a new pro-Palestinian protest this morning in a U.S. Senate building.
They are laying down. They are pretending as if they're dead in solidarity of the thousands of Palestinian people that have been killed. They're wanting a ceasefire.
Fox's Aisha Hasni at the Capitol says they remain peaceful as Capitol Police carried each one away. Days after the FBI director told Congress he's never seen so many potential terror threats at the same time because of the war in Gaza, which keeps raging today, Israel versus Hamas. Attorney General Merrick Garland told a violent crime reduction summit in Indianapolis it's urgent
for us to remain vigilant in the face of risks of terrorism and hate-fueled violence.
There are still about 18,000 power outages in Tennessee after weekend tornadoes that killed 6 people.
Immediately, the whole house shook. I heard a clash. I heard glass breaking. It was a blowout. And I started crying and panicking and praying.
She's in Clarksville, Tennessee, where an EF3 tornado with winds up to 150 miles an hour struck, destroying homes, snapping trees and power lines.
As Fox's Jeff Manasso, the Golden Globe nominations are just out, and Barbie leads the way with 9 nominations, including for Best Comedy or Musical. Oppenheimer has 8 nominations, one of them for Best Picture Drama. We'll find out the winners January 7th. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They want to know who shot him. It's 31 and mostly cloudy downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. A man found shot to death in Greenwood. The man was found sitting in a parked car outside of a house near Worthsville and Chic Roads. It's not clear what led to the shooting yet, but the coroner says the man killed is Ethan David, an 18-year-old from Indianapolis. Going back to the riots in 2020, Chris Davis reports on 2 IMPD officers found not guilty on some charges.
You might remember that time is pretty rough. The police wanted people to stay out of downtown Indianapolis, and there was a curfew in place. 2 people decided that they would violate that curfew, and so the police officers used force, batons, pepper balls, etc. Now, Jonathan Horlock and Nathaniel Shawwacker have been found not guilty of some of those charges. They'll have to wait until next year to find out what happens on the remaining charges. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A fatal accident shortly after 7 Sunday evening involving a sedan and a van on the Sam Jones Expressway also killed a dog. Wes Woodward reports.
Both vehicles were driving westbound near 465 on Indianapolis's southwest side when the sedan rear-ended the van. The adult male driver of the sedan was transported to a local hospital where he later died. A dog that was in his vehicle also died at the scene. Police believe the driver of the sedan was intoxicated at the time of the crash. Multiple people in the van complain of pain following the crash. Wes Woodward, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Congresswoman Erin Houchin believes anti-Semitism on college campuses recently is being fueled by influence from foreign countries.
Not only Qatar, but from Saudi Arabia and China, and it has to stop. It at a minimum has to be exposed.
On Newsmax, she's pushing a bill that pulls funding from schools that take money from foreign governments like from Qatar or Saudi Arabia. She believes that the presidents of Ivy League schools who failed to condemn anti-Semitic protests on their campuses should be fired. The Indianapolis Colts lost to the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday, 34-14. They have the Pittsburgh Steelers this coming Saturday. I'm Kirk Darling. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Here's something for all you guys that haven't gotten your special someone a holiday gift yet. This Christmas, Pajamagram has your back with a deluxe gift set for her. A one-and-done luxurious present. This gift set includes the Smooth Seduction satin nightie and robe, plus a free satin eye mask, all wrapped in an elegant satin keepsake bag. Yeah, you heard that right. A one-and-done luxurious present, all at pajamagram.com.
That's 4 gifts delivered right to your door. Ready to go under the tree, silky, sensuous, glides over the skin, designed to make her feel amazing, and you'll like it too. If you ask me, the Smooth Seduction Satin gift set That is your ticket to a very nice winter season, if you know what I'm saying. Don't wait. Get it before it sells out. Go to pajamagram.com. Pajamagram.com. That's the Smooth Seduction Satin Gift Set at Pajamagram. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Monday, December 11th. It is 5 minutes after 11. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Well, big decisions happened last week involving the Senate race here in the great state of Indianapolis. The judge found that the primary law was unconstitutional, and that grants John Rust injunction, which means he can run.
This was a monumental decision for the state of Indiana, and we're going to be joined by John Rust here in just a moment. But before we do, huge win for the taxpayers of this state. And Judge Dietrich, it is a long decision, very well written, very well thought through, and in multiple areas found where the state, failed to prove its case on having any sort of interest, on saying that unless you vote in 2 consecutive primaries, that you can't run as a Republican or Democrat. And so now, obviously, it was a win for John Rust. Todd Rokita has announced he will appeal it to the Indiana State Supreme Court. He's doing very well with them these days, Casey, as we've talked about numerous times, so no doubt that'll go great. But John Rust does join us now on the WIBC hotline. John, first of all, congratulations. Kind of walk us through your emotions as you've spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of your own personal money to take down this very, very corrupt, terrible state law. Tell us kind of what you're feeling.
This is a spectacular victory for the 81% of Hoosier voters who can't run for political office today. When I went into this, initially I thought I'd be welcomed with open arms, and I thought this is going to be great. No, the establishment hit back hard. No way, you can't run. You're not one of us. So I ended up having to file this lawsuit, after we found this law that precluded 81% of Hoosier voters from being able to run for office. And that's just a staggering number. And that, they're trying to appeal that is beyond me. It's the wrong thing for them to do. It's a wonderful decision for Hoosiers.
Yeah, you voted in Republican primaries. You've given to Republicans, and Jim Banks and the state Republican Party painted you to be Nancy Pelosi. You probably felt a bit of betrayal out there for having supported the Republican Party.
No, yes, exactly. So anyone out there, when you're giving money to the Republican Party, which I've done all my life, I have never given $1 to Democrats. When you decide to run yourself, they're going to slap you in the face and say, no, you're not a Republican. You're not one of us. We'll take your money, but, you can't run yourself.
One of the things that's interesting is Mike Braun had done this exact same thing. Mike Braun had voted for Democrats in the past, and his excuse when asked about that was, well, I lived in an area where there were only Democrats in the local elections, and I had the right to pick my sheriff or whoever. They didn't seem to give you that same grace, John.
Yes, I was only voting for local Jackson County Democrats who were very pro-agriculture, very pro-business, who, I went to church with. These weren't, I wasn't voting for national liberal Democrats ever. I always voted Republican in the fall elections, always.
John Rust is our guest. A huge win for him, huge win for the state of Indiana taxpayers on Thursday when the judge threw out the now unconstitutional state of Indiana law that requires you to have voted in 2 consecutive primaries in order to run for that party. Let's talk about the big number, and the judge cited this specifically in the ruling. 81% of the people in the state of Indiana are ineligible to run based on this law. That is just egregious that 8 out of 10 Hoosiers are cut out of the political process.
Right. And we have my lawyer, Michelle Harder, to thank for that. She has worked her career for, challenging this law in the past, but not having standing. And so finally she found me, and, I have standing because this is before the fact. And so that's why it was found the way it was.
John, so Jim Banks has spent a lot of time attacking you and saying some pretty,
what a whiner,
some pretty unsavory things. I'm wondering, why do you think that it almost seems that he's legitimizing your run when he does that, but it also gives an air of I don't know, that he's scared of your campaign. Do you get that impression, and why do you think that is?
They've been scared of my campaign from the get-go. When I did my filings on July 1st this year, it was almost instant where the national GOP, the National Senate Republican Committee, and the state GOP immediately endorsed Banks to try to force me from running even. They pushed back hard because they know I can win, because they know, that people are sick of career politicians and what they're doing to our economy.
John, are you surprised at the whining from Banks? Are you surprised at the whining from Republican politicians? I mean, they are just up in arms over the fact that now 80% of the state will be able to run for public office, and they're not even being shy about it. They're putting it out there. We are very upset that 80% of the people now who previously were ineligible are going to be allowed to participate in politics.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Why would they do that? Why, we're all in this together. We're all Hoosiers. We all have a right to vote. We all have a right to meaningfully cast our vote. And they're saying, no, you can't.
What do you think about Rokita saying that he's going to appeal the decision?
Well, I think in the end it will help me, because this will bring more publicity to my campaign, that I am fighting for Hoosiers. Why is the state trying to say Hoosiers can't meaningfully participate? That's wrong, and so I think, this ultimately will help me.
John, we've long said we don't know whether we like you or don't like you in terms of politics, and people will say, well, hey, are you going to talk about the lawsuit involving you today or the jury decision involving you? No, we're not, because the state is still not, the Republican Party has still not said you have the right to be on the ballot. So they're really prolonging what they claim. I mean, on one hand, they claim, well, this guy is a big liberal and he'll be easily dispensed. They don't treat you like a big liberal who'll be easily dispensed based on how serious they're taking your candidacy, they being the state party and their hired henchmen politicians, because they are just livid that you're allowed to exist.
Well, and I think they know, because Jim Banks has such a pathetic voting record or non-voting record in Washington, D.C., that he can't defend himself. Why would you promote someone, the United States Senate from Congress, that can't show up for votes repeatedly? He missed the debt ceiling vote. He missed a major vote on November 7th, for government funding. He missed the vote on Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas's impeachment. Where is he? We need someone who will show up for the job.
How are you doing on your signatures? Mm-hmm. Because the big part of this, obviously, unless you're Todd Young, you have to get 500 verified signatures in all 9 congressional districts. Your name is not Todd Young. I'm pretty sure, John, if you get 498, they'll say that's fine, go on, like they did with Todd Young. How are you doing on this very monumental process?
We are doing very well on it. We should have an announcement the next week or two on that, actually.
I was really kind of hoping you might come up a little short, because the judge in his ruling seemed to allude to the fact that the signature requirement might also be unconstitutional, but you're telling us you think you won't have to sue for that. You're going to be fine.
I think I'll be fine on it, but, I understand that issue, because, it is expensive to do this, and it's time consuming, and it takes a lot of people to do it. But, I'm pushing through to get it done.
If you don't get the 500 signatures, is that something you're considering to try and change that law as well?
Oh, I believe I will have the 500. I believe way more than that. So
okay,
because, I'm working hard on this. I think it's important to show, that I have interest in my campaign. It's not just something I'm trying to buy or whatever. It's something I have to work hard for, and people have to show an interest in saying yes, he should run.
John Rust is our guest. Couple minutes left with him. He had a huge win. Hoosiers had a huge win on Thursday when the Judge Dietrich threw out in Marion County Indiana's law said it's unconstitutional that you have to have voted in 2 primaries in order to be able to run. John, being a senator is a terrible job. I don't know if you know this or not. It's a thankless job if you go there and try to fight for people. You have a very good life. Why were you willing to spend so much of your own money to challenge this election law? I mean, everybody really owes you a debt of gratitude and a thank you, because you used your own resources to literally help millions of people.
Right. Well, I'm funding this with donations from my own money, and that's an important distinction. It is not a loan. It's a donation. That means when I go to Washington, I will be working for Indiana voters day one. I will not be going around with a tin cup, trying to raise money from General Dynamics or whoever. That means I will be an effective senator because I will be able to actually work and do the job that people elect me to do.
All right, so what's next for you now? Have they given you a time frame on, obviously Rokita's decided he's going to waste more taxpayer money to try to keep 80% of the state from running for public office. Have they given you kind of a time frame on what's next? Because obviously we're all cheering for you to get on the ballot, and then we'll decide whether we like you politically or not. But have they given you a time frame on this?
No, not really. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the exact time frame on it, but I believe I will be on the ballot in the end.
John, if people want to learn more about you and your campaign and keep track, as again, Todd Rokita's decided he's going to continue to waste more taxpayer resources to keep regular people from running for public office, how can people, keep track of you and what you're doing?
Please go to rust2024.com, RUST2024.com.
John Rust, thank you. You're the best. We appreciate it. And thank you for winning this case. And millions of people in the future will be able to run who otherwise wouldn't have been able to run because of you. So thanks for being willing to lead on that. And hopefully soon you'll get those signatures and we'll be able to find out whether we like you politically or not. How about that?
Hey, thank you very much. I can't wait to keep fighting for Hoosiers. This is what I'm doing now, and it's what I'm going to keep doing.
All right. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
The National Toy Hall of Fame has announced its new class. Baseball cards, Cabbage Patch Kids, Fisher-Price Corn Popper, that little thing you push, and Nerf.
Yeah. Nerf?
Nerf made it in.
I think I'm good with the list. Literally, I think a stick is in the National Toy Hall of Fame.
It is.
Who didn't make it?
Slime. It's a staple of Nickelodeon.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411.
Untuckit has everything he needs this holiday season. Shop now and save big with our biggest sale of the year happening at Untuckit.com or at any of the 80-plus Untuckit stores. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn untucked. They keep him looking sharp and feeling comfortable. He'll love to unwrap one of our iconic button-downs, super soft flannels, or cozy sweaters. Get them while they last during our biggest sale of the year. Shop Untuckit's biggest sale of the year happening now at Untuckit.com or at any of our over 80 stores.
There are many ways to eat McDonald's world-famous fries. Some eat both ends of the fry first, others two at a time. And some eat them so fast, they forget how they ate them.
Download the app for offers like 20% off any order of $5 or more. Because when you tap into favorites like a Big Mac, McCrispy, or fries, you tap into delicious. Valid through 12/31/23 at participating McDonald's. Valid one time per day, excludes tax. Must opt into rewards. Visit McD app for details.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Is your Generac home standby generator ready for the next outage? Are you overdue for annual maintenance? Schedule an inspection today with Generator Supercenter and ensure your Generac generator is ready when you need it most. GeneratorSupercenter.com.
Jewelry, rings, diamonds, and watches are just a few possible Christmas gifts at Pierce Jewelers. Let them help you celebrate that special moment with your loved one. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Whoa, check out that chick.
Yeah, but who's that fart knocker she's with?
It is 19 minutes after 11 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Casey, I had a conversation with someone over the weekend who works in state government, and this is a universally respected person, very well thought of, is in many, many meetings with many, many very powerful people. We will not name this person for fear that he would be excommunicated from all things government if his identity were revealed. And this is a person who gives me a lot of information, and we were just shooting the breeze about various government things. And he told me something, and we had a long conversation about this, and I'm going to put it to you because I think you're probably closer to the average person and how they view politics than I am, because obviously I've spent, basically 15 years doing this now, and I think I'm pretty well entrenched on who and what I despise and my views on things. And we got talking about what moves people in order to vote now. And when I was elected, and then kind of the central theme of what I have made my living here around is that the government is too big and the cost of government is too great. And obviously the lifeblood of that is taxation, and the taxation is totally out of control. And he told me, he said, you are a dinosaur on this. The taxes and the actual size of government no longer move people the way it once did. The question is he right? And what actually moves people in order to vote today?
That's interesting. Did he tell you what he thinks does move people?
Well, we were talking
if you're a dinosaur.
We were talking about specifically about the governor's race. And I was saying, I cannot fathom how you've got at least three people with seemingly infinite money in terms of Doden and Chambers and Suzanne. Doden and Chambers through their own money, and then Suzanne raises a lot of money as a politician. And none of them are just beating the crap out of Mike Braun for voting for that gas tax increase and all the tax increases that he supported in 2017 in Holcomb's first year, 40-plus tax increases. And I said, I cannot fathom why they're giving this guy a free pass. And he said, you don't get it. That doesn't move people anymore. He said that is not what moves people to vote anymore. And you have totally missed the boat. There was a time where you were totally right. He said he's not saying that I'm wrong in being against it. He's saying it doesn't move people in order to vote anymore. And my question to you is, if it is not that, if I am indeed, Grandpa at Thanksgiving telling old war stories over here, what does move people? Because I'm sick of these people, the same people doing the same stuff over and over again. And if that is not what moves people, if the size of government, if the growth of government, if irresponsible government, if the cost of government, if the amount of money government is taking from you doesn't move people to vote anymore, then what is it? Because I'll go with that.
What the government is spending. Because that's what is causing inflation.
But okay. So isn't that kind of, maybe he's wrong. Is he full of it? That's my question, because isn't it all kind of tied together? Or do people look at Mike Braun and go, he said the right things in Washington, D.C. It doesn't matter what he actually did here because Mike Braun stole your money.
Well, you're saying that people have to connect the dots. And unless somebody is helping them connect the dots, they may not have the information to understand. As long as he's saying the right things and he makes them feel a certain way, and he's a conservative and that's what I stand for, so that's my guy. He's got name recognition, good reputation. But unless they actually are connecting the dots, that the way he votes is growing the government, and the government is spending more money, and that's affecting you and your pocketbook, they're not going to put it all together.
Because we were talking about his ads. So his ads tell you absolutely nothing. His ads are like a national, it's like he's running for Senate again.
Right, because he's saying the right things.
Right, but they're nothing to do with the state of Indiana. He's talking about the border in these ads. What the hell does the governor of Indiana have to do with the national border crisis? Nothing. I guess you could send the National Guard down there. But he's running ads. The two ads I've seen so far are about the border and about how Donald Trump endorsed him. What does that do for you as a voter, he being Mike Braun? What does that do for you as a voter?
Okay.
What does it tell you? I don't get this. And what my friend said to me is, he said, Braun will talk about schooling and school choice and things like that. And he said that resonates with people far more today than the tax issue does. And I find that hard to believe that people look around and go, oh, they're taking all of this money and I'm getting so little result for it. And I'm paying record prices at the pump, and I'm paying record taxes at the pump, and I'm paying record property taxes. And I'm just going to roll over and say that doesn't matter anymore. But that's his theory. It doesn't make it right. But I wonder what motivates you to go vote, because you're much closer to the average person than I am, Casey.
Well, there's this new CBS polling that just came out, and people were asked, most important problem facing the U.S. Number one answer, 27%, was inflation, followed by 20% immigration and the border. And then it was state of democracy at 16%, and then gun violence at 12%. So if you're Mike Braun and you're looking at these national polls, has he put a poll in the field in Indiana to get specific Indiana answers?
So if your theory is, if you're Braun,
and he's just looking at these national polls, well, the national polls are saying that it's inflation.
And this is what's maddening, because if the theory is, if you're Braun, and Abdul had a thing in his, I think it was in his cheat sheet over the weekend, that there is a poll out that shows Braun at like 35%, which means he's way ahead of these other people. If the theory is, if you're Braun and you already have a default lead because you're a U.S. senator, so you've essentially had a bully pulpit to dominate airwaves, et cetera. You haven't done anything really productive in Congress, but you haven't done anything hyper offensive either. If I have infinite wealth myself, and I have access to all sorts of donors and lobbyists because of my position as a senator, which means I will be able to keep up, maybe not exceed, but keep up with the disgusting amount of money Brad Chambers is spending and Doden has spent, then if I just run national-based ads based on polling, whether I can actually do anything about the thing or not, then I'll win by just simply existing.
Yeah. Because he's tapping into what people are concerned about on a national level.
Because when I first got into politics, taxes were the issue. Like, I came into politics at the time where the property tax caps had just become a part of the Indiana Constitution, and everything was centered around that. But then when you look at the amount of school referendums that pass, and you look at the amount of money people are have taken from them through property taxes, and you look at the gas tax, and yet the same people just keep getting elected over and over and over again. I would be super curious, either at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter, at Casey Daniels 317 on Twitter, you highly vocal people in the YouTube chat, or call the hotline, because you're going to take voicemails the rest of the week, 317-684-8444. What's going to motivate you to vote this year? Because if we've ceded the ground that the size of government and the cost of government and the amount of money they take from you to fund the cost and size of that government, if that doesn't matter anymore, then what are we doing?
I heard somebody over the weekend, I was out, and he was talking to a friend of his, and he said, our biggest expense is property taxes. And I so wanted to walk over and, hey, how you doing? Have a conversation. And then he started joking. Besides booze, he was with his buddy and he was joking around. But I thought, is this guy a small business owner, or is he talking about residential?
And so we went back and forth for probably 10 minutes on this, and I said, no, you're wrong. I refuse to believe that is no longer a driver for people. But if you look at the people who keep getting elected, both in this state and in this country, the taxes have never been higher.
Well, what have we been saying for the past year?
So maybe he's right.
People don't vote on logic anymore. They vote on emotion. Look at Donald Trump.
Yeah. So can we bring, is that one of my goals for 2024? You got to start setting your goals now for things, is to get people to understand and be motivated by the amount of money. What else could I do at this point, Casey? Maybe I could have a class of some sort. You used to do those Where Your Money Go videos that were pretty popular.
Start those again.
It sounds like a lot of work, though.
Yeah. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
When you shop with America's Floor Source, you can be confident that you're getting a fair price every time. Our goal is to make sure you get the perfect floor for your life, your style, and your budget. And that's why we provide outstanding flooring products, top-notch customer service, and industry-best installation, all at a fair price every time. Shop with America's Floor Source today and find out for yourself.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're pushing on. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Fighting is intensifying still in the Middle East.
Over the weekend, Israeli forces pushed deeper into the Gaza Strip, this time targeting the Jabalia neighborhood in the northern part of Gaza. Since the ground operation began, 104 Israeli soldiers have been killed. And while the activity remains high on the southern front, as does it on the northern front, the border with Lebanon.
Fox's Trey Yingst, the president of the University of Pennsylvania, is resigning after a congressional hearing about anti-Semitism on college campuses. The House is investigating Harvard, MIT, and UPenn after their presidents failed to explicitly say that calling for the genocide of Jews violates their code of conduct. On Saturday, UPenn President Liz McGill announced that she'd be resigning effective immediately. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Indiana Pathways for Aging helps Hoosier Medicaid members age 60 and over get support at no additional cost to live life their way.
Mom's Parkinson's is progressing, and Pathways provides in-home support so she can be with family every day.
Pathways coordinates Medicaid and Medicare services. I'm getting help with meals, personal care, and transportation.
One day, I might choose a nursing home, but today, I have options with Pathways.
The program begins in summer of 2024. Call 87 Pathway 4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Here's an unexpected holiday surprise for all the last-minute shoppers. Now through December 17th, all of Diamond's Direct Diamond Classics are 25% off. That's all diamond earrings, all diamond bracelets, all diamond pendants, an incredible 25% off. Special financing, too. Get the perfect gift at the best value price all year. 25% savings on all diamond earrings, bracelets, and pendants. Now through the 17th only, and only at Diamonds Direct. Get details, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hey, it's JMV for the best in plumbing. Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing at 317-927-7186. Here's team member Jennifer to tell you all about their holiday specials.
Thanks, JMV. Dry skin and limited hot water got you feeling like you're on the naughty list? Ask about our tankless water heater for $39.97 and water softener special for $15.99. We'll have you on the nice list in no time. Santa almost fell out of his sleigh when he heard this deal. It's only valid till February 28th, so don't delay.
317-927-7186, ldsmithplumbing.com.
Are you a translator for your spouse? Are you the one always on the telephone because your husband or wife struggle to hear? You need to check out RelayIndiana.com and CapTel, the captioned telephone. The CapTel phone allows the hard of hearing person to enjoy conversations through voice recognition technology, with the other person's words appearing on the easy-to-read screen. Go online to RelayIndiana.com for more information about CapTel and let your spouse enjoy their own phone calls. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1, find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2, have a plan to get there. Step 3, make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
While high school sports help students develop their athletic skills, the real lessons in this second classroom are the skills needed for life. I'm Brian Lewis.
And I'm Carrie Rosati. We're both assistant commissioners of the IHSAA. In high school sports, student athletes aren't just running drills. They're learning discipline and work ethic.
They're not just watching film. They're learning the value of preparation and always finding ways to improve.
They're not just hitting the weight room. They're learning the importance of pushing through any challenges that come their way.
These aren't just some of the skills student athletes need to navigate the game. These are the skills they need to navigate life, to be successful people, to be good humans.
You can ensure these life lessons are taught for generations to come. Be a champion of high school sports and buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is preparing for the game. This is preparing for life. This is your IHSAA.
Pierce Jewelers has the perfect sparkle to put under the tree this Christmas. So don't be a Grinch. Spoil your loved one with a little blue box from Pierce Jewelers in Carmel.
Amber and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good
Good morning. It is 11:34 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So President Biden made an address in Nevada. It was the Investing in Nevada. He's talking about the latest $8.2 billion investment for rail projects. You were just talking about spending money. Here we go again.
I mean, just the obsession with the spending, and it's on stuff that by and large people... I mean, look at this. Look at the stuff here in downtown Indianapolis, the Red Line. What a complete disaster that thing has been. Indianapolis used to be the easiest major metropolitan city to drive around. Like, it was a joy to drive to downtown Indianapolis because even during busy events, you could skedoodle in and out of this place in almost no time. And it's very hard to drive downtown now. Why? Because a whole bunch of what was once drivable street are now for these stupid buses that are 3/4 empty every time you look at them. And now they're going to do the blue line, Casey, and everybody's mad about that. Why? Because once again, it'll be something that is going to be 3/4 empty, and yet we will spend $1 gajillion on it. They've got like $90 million of federal money for that Red Line, Casey. Think about how many roads and sidewalks that could have repaired.
All of them?
And they just never stop.
Okay, so while he was in Nevada, he was talking about the high-speed rail operation. He was specifically talking about the one that's going from Nevada to California. But there's also been news that there's going to be the one from Indianapolis to Chicago. While he was there, he had to dig in on Trump, saying that Trump was failing at infrastructure. But I wanted to play this clip because it is just so perfect. It's Biden time, and here is your president. Just he's talking numbers, Rob.
Yes,
and this is a new number for me. I mean, public school education. However, here is your president making up numbers.
Over $1,300,000,300,000,000,300,000,000.
How many? Is that
over $1,300,000,000,300,000,000,300,000,000.
Yeah,
he's done that before too.
Yeah, he has.
The president of the United States, not only can he not speak, he can't read or think. Casey, reading from a teleprompter is like the easiest thing in the world to do if you can read.
Now it's a tandem thing because you do have to work with somebody who is working the prompter. Unless, and a lot of newsrooms are now going to this, where the anchor will have it on an iPad and they can scroll it on their own.
But
if you're right. If they're just keeping up with you, it's easy to do a teleprompter.
Yes, and it's not like you took someone. If you took someone off the street and said, "Read this teleprompter," and put them on television, yes, they would initially struggle with that. Why? Because they're not trained orators. The president of the United States should be a highly trained orator and also someone who can at least read. Like I'm doing Christmas Eve service for Life Church. They asked me to come help out and do some stuff. We had to go record some things last week.
Yeah.
And by the way, did you like that Christmas sweater that
I
I'm wearing?
loved it.
Wasn't that great?
It was very festive.
I did not buy that. Micah bought that and then said, "Here, wear this."
It did not look like something you would have picked out. Because it was very joyful. And it wasn't just a t-shirt, or you occasionally will wear a button down when you're trying to look nice.
Yeah.
But it did not seem like something that you would have picked out.
You're so nice the way you say things. But the point is, like, you've got a prompter and you're reading off the prompter. It's for announcements. Casey, I've not read off a prompter since the last time I was on Wish TV doing the betting show with Hammer, which was probably 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I got it all right in one take. Why? Because I can read.
Yeah.
Like, here, look here and read this, and it's scrolling and you're reading, and it is not rocket science. If the local radio guy can figure out how a prompter works, then Joe Biden, who I'm sure works with the same group of people every single day, it'd be like if Taylor Swift was like, "What? The lights are coming on during this song at that time? When the hell did that happen?" That's not an excuse because it happens every single time.
You want to hear him again? Say this number.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Figure it out. What is the number today?
Over $1,300,000,000,300,000,000.
It sounds like a lot. Whatever it was. I mean, I heard billion, I heard million, I heard trillion.
You have a president of the United States, Casey, who cannot read, he cannot speak,
he cannot walk,
he cannot walk,
he cannot talk.
He's like a Dr. Seuss character.
He is.
Hey, real quick, because I want to get into this Alex Jones thing. I did want to say something just very, very quick, because I'm going to forget to do this if I don't do this right now.
Yeah.
We have a very fabulous listener named Samuel.
Okay.
Samuel, it is his 11th birthday today. Samuel is the son of Farmer Ryan, one of our great WIBC listeners. Farmer Ryan actually sponsors our State House Happening show. Abdul and Jim Merritt and I do Sunday mornings. Freedom Foods Indiana is his company. And Samuel's 11th birthday is today. And Samuel, for the past several months, has been battling a very serious blood disease. And he's been a great fighter, and he's doing wonderful. And he is a regular visitor at Riley Hospital right up the road from us. And we love Samuel. And I asked Ryan, I said, what does Samuel want for his birthday? And he said, well, he would like a shout out on the radio.
Aww.
So if you are the of prayerful mind, include little Samuel in your prayers. He's really battling hard. He has a very, like I said, very rare blood disease, but he's doing great and getting great treatment. So Samuel, happy 11th birthday.
Happy birthday. Come see us again soon.
Absolutely.
Too, next time you're in town.
We got to get into this Alex Jones stuff because can we take a break?
You want to talk about that now?
Because, or we can do it right now. Whatever you want to do.
You know what? Let's take a break, and we'll talk about Alex Jones, and then you can give us your parting words and thoughts.
Oh, I got some words.
Yeah, before you're gone on vacation forever. But before we get into break, I wanted to play.
Wait. Time out. Did you just try to slip that in before you're gone on vacation forever? Like you want me to never come back? I saw what you did right there.
No, not permanently. Just what's going to seem like forever. I'm sure you saw it over the weekend, the Army-Navy game. And it was amazing. Army won at the very last minute, right at the right there at the end zone. But this is something that I felt was very inspiring. And talk about just, can I say the word? I'm not going to say it because Samuel might be listening. But this is one of the better post-game speeches inside the Army locker room. Check this out.
Some more. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight. Fight. I can't fight no more. I'm gonna lie down. Bleed a while. Get up. Fight some more.
Sounds like our pre-show meeting each day.
That one's for Samuel. Happy birthday. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, we start Border Week with former Yuma Sector Chief Chris Clem and what you really need to know about the wall. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411. 800-593-4411.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
Let Bill Estes put you behind the wheel of the powerhouse brands that define American toughness. Ford, Chevy, Ram, and GMC. Right now, save up to $15,000 off MSRP on Ram. Unleash the power of the road with Bill Estes Trucks. Find the location near you and see their inventory at BillEstesTrucks.com.
Prices include Costco membership rebate of $1,000. All rebates and incentives included in final discount. Stock numbers BCI 230444, BCJ 240066, BFB 230713. TRX Raptor and ZR2 models excluded from all offers. See dealer for details. Offer absolutely ends January 31st, 2024.
459 Barber Lounge, the #1 choice for men's haircuts in Indiana on 86th Street across from the Fashion Mall. 459online.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
She was married for 7 years to a concrete castle king.
Good morning, 11:46 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
My last segment. Just let him sing.
Okay.
Good job, Kev. Going out with the Harry Chapin.
Yeah, I did this all for you.
It's going to be my house for the next 19 days. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. That's very rude of me.
It's very rare that we fade the bump music back up, but I had to do it for you. That's your early Christmas gift.
There you go.
That's such a great song, too. It's like such a Harry Chapin song. It's called I Want to Learn a Love Song. And he's this just like local bum musician, and he meets this woman, and he's supposed to be given guitar lessons, and she's totally into him, and she's married to this super rich guy, and then he's got to make a choice on what he's going to do, and it's just a beautiful. They don't make beautiful music anymore.
I'm glad it put a smile on your face.
Have you noticed that? Like they don't. Kevin and I were having this conversation. This has been a while ago, but they don't make beautiful music anymore.
Yeah.
It's all crap.
Yeah, or good rock and roll.
They don't make beautiful, meaningful, lyrically meaningful music anymore.
Yeah, and there's barely any guitars being used, and it's not melodic as it should be.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. What do you want to talk about?
It's nice to hear you two lament of the good old days.
Yeah, I miss the good old days.
All right, you wanted to talk about Alex Jones. Elon Musk has restored the X account belonging to him. He took a poll on social media on his platform X, and people said bring him back. So that's what Elon Musk did.
And Tucker Carlson just had this guy on his show, which appeared on Twitter.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not a conversation of if Alex Jones should be allowed to exist. Some people want to have that, ban him from the platform. That's,
which is something that Elon Musk actually said he was going to do. And he did for a while.
And that's, look, Alex Jones, I remember in 17, 18, whenever it was that he started getting banned from things. And people were all excited about that because, he's a conspiracy this and he's a that. And me and many others were saying, you better be careful what you wish for, because once it starts with him, there will be no boundary to which it will stop, and it will eventually come for you. And it did. That was, I mean, the millions of people who've been banned from social media, et cetera, it mostly started with Alex Jones. Why? Because Alex Jones is a blowhard and a totally unsympathetic, lying, horrific human being. But it doesn't mean he doesn't have the right to exist. Now, my question is, whether it's not a question of should he have the right to exist, it's why do we give him the power and voice? Like him being on Tucker Carlson.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker Carlson is an incredibly influential mainstream American broadcaster.
Getting less mainstream as the days go on, though.
Right, but when you look at Tucker Carlson, this was a guy who not all that long ago had a wildly popular show on a national cable network, which is Fox News. He was arguably the most important voice in all of certainly conservative media, maybe media in general. And he is giving a voice to this guy who, I mean, he's just a pathological liar. The stuff that Alex Jones said about Sandy Hook, and then the stuff like with his divorce hearings and everything else where he's admitted once his back was up against the wall, oh yeah, it's all just an act. I mean, it's just an act. Why would you give him, why if you're Tucker Carlson, I mean, do you need clicks that bad?
Well, that's what I was just about to say, because what did you said Tucker Carlson is a businessman, right? And he's launching his own platform. I believe he just did yesterday, his own subscription-based platform to get this extra content. And that's some of the extra content you're not going to get anywhere else.
But he could have.
You have to know, a lot of people would be interested in that interview. Oh my gosh, Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones, what are they saying?
But you are in the process lowering yourself. Right? I mean, Alex Jones, it is not that he has.
You are the company you keep?
Right. It is not. It is not that Alex Jones has views that are outside the mainstream. It's that he's a proven, known, I mean, pathological is the only word that I can think of at this point, liar. I mean, what he did and the way, by the way, he espouses to be this, conservative or make America great or populist or whatever he is. He has not paid a dime to those people, is my understanding, of Sandy Hook. And there was just a recent article in the Associated Press about this.
He's supposed to pay like $45 million?
No, hell no, Casey. $1.5 billion was the judgment against him. And now they're trying to get this thing settled at $85 million over 10 years because this poor family who Alex Jones said just completely ridiculous, incredibly harmful stuff, painful stuff about their children were slaughtered, and he tried to act like it was some sort of hoax or made up. I mean, I can't imagine losing a child and then having some doofus like him who has a national platform go out there and say, yeah, it's all just made up. It's a bunch of crisis actors. And he was held liable in a court of law for that, and yet he continues to skirt his obligation to these people. And Tucker Carlson he's not some wild and wacky, lovable character. He's a scumbag. And you, Tucker Carlson, who have immense power with your show, you need clicks that bad that you are giving a platform to a complete dirtball?
Well, it is news that Elon Musk reinstated him on the X platform.
I don't have so much of a problem with that because, again, I think people have the right to exist. I mean, we were erasing people's existence. But Tucker, there's a difference between you have a right to exist and I have the right to ignore you, or society should ignore you. There's lots of horrific people who do way worse things than what Alex Jones is that I still think should be able to be on social media platforms.
So you're saying it's a mistake on Tucker's part to pay him any mind, give him any attention.
It's not like you're doing an interview with you're not doing an interview with him. Okay, so like when people interviewed Jeffrey Dahmer, okay? Dahmer was interesting because how does this man's mind work? What led him to commit these crimes? He has no monetary gain by doing this. There is no upside to Jeffrey Dahmer. He's not ever getting out of prison, etc. That is interesting, and there's societal interest in someone interviewing Jeffrey Dahmer. Alex Jones is existing to make money. He's going to use that interview with Tucker Carlson, a guy who's done all these horrific things, who has just lied and lied and lied and lied. He's admitted that it's all an act when his back was up against the wall in various court proceedings. And you're giving him this platform to make money. Why would you do that?
Obviously, there's interest. I mean, the poll that Elon Musk did said that 70% of people wanted him reinstated back on X. So, to Tucker's point, yeah, he's going where the people are.
Yeah, but it's like if you go to a UFC fight, yeah, I want to see some guy get his teeth knocked out. Okay, but that's not. I feel like we continue to elevate horrific people, and you can be with Alex Jones. This is a great example where you are not canceling him. You're not saying this person doesn't have the right to exist. He doesn't have the right to be heard on a platform. But it's like boycotting. Mm-hmm. Like, people can boycott. They can work with their wallets. They can work with their feet. You don't have to say somebody doesn't have the right to exist or a company doesn't have a right to exist. People can make the choices themselves. They don't need the government to intervene and do that for them. But wow, what a terrible, terrible, terrible lack of judgment by Tucker Carlson to promote this guy. And am I wrong on this? Am I way outside the mainstream? You're usually the rational voice here.
No, I agree. I don't think it was a great move for him. It's not a good look, is what it is. But if Tucker's trying to get views and clicks and be a newsmaker, well, that's going to do it.
When they used to interview David Duke, you'd be like, why? What reason would you give this guy as a news organization a platform? He has rights as a citizen of the country, but why would you lift him up and elevate him and expose him as mainstream commentators or journalists or whatever? There's lots of wacky people that we could put on these airwaves, Casey, that would probably be great for clicks and listens in the moment. But you're not going to...
You don't want to associate with them.
Right. You know who I do want to associate with, though?
Who?
It's John Herrick, and he's got the news coming up next. Hey, everybody, have a great rest of your December season, your Christmas season. Love you. I'll see you guys next year. Kev, thanks for the Harry Chapin.
You're welcome.
Hey, happy birthday, Merry Christmas. Thank you, Rob. Thanks, Kevin. And I'll be back here tomorrow with you. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Cutting it close with last-minute gift shopping? Helzberg has you covered. It's Helzberg Diamonds must-have holiday sale. Up to 50% off on dazzling lab-grown diamond hoops and stacking bands, diamond pendants, and tennis bracelets. Get the perfect gifts for that special someone. Last-minute shopping has never been so joyful. So don't wait. Head to a Helzberg store near you or helzberg.com. Offer valid through December 24th. While supplies last, see online or in-store for details.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you.